try to fasten us, but magically by dawn.
All right. It's a Sunday evening overdose. I think this might be the earliest we've ever been on. What time is it? 9:03? Something?
9:05-ish, maybe.
Wow. That is not that late. Usually we've been running an average of 10 to 15 minutes late. Welcome to the show across the United States of America and beyond, to many of the strange lands where strange people inhabit this planet. That was my old pal, Tub Geometry, coming in, starting the show up. We got a lot of shit going on. Our guests tonight are Dustin Gable and Jason May of the Clinton County Paranormal Research Group. They're going to be joining us later. As always, you can call in to the Sunday Evening Overdose. Last week, we had some callers. We had a lot of callers. Let's just talk a minute about calling into the show, please. We appreciate the humorous calls. The swearing is good. The threats and arguments and shit is all very nice. Let's try to not to have these selfish calls that take up everyone's time and go nowhere. Just so you're aware, I know that the show last week kind of sucked. I've heard about it. I don't give a shit. Fuck you. We got a bunch of shit worked out. We have an added feature tonight. When we have the guests on, you're going to be able to call in and speak directly to the guests. As always, you can interact with us through the Facebook page, blah, 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 or Sunday Evening Overdose at gmail.com for email. Fucking space news. Let's check it out. Call in 708. Did I give the number? 708-244-8142. 708-244-8142. But let's try not to make this... Let's try not to give this show the reputation of, the show where everyone calls in on completely unrelated topics and just tries to get the host riled up. Because I'd like to try to do some serious radio if we could. I got an article from phys.org about a NASA spacecraft observing further evidence of dry ice gullies on Mars. So, for anybody that's been following Mars over the years, one of the major talking points is these sort of riverbed-looking gullies, and a lot of people proposed that it looked like there was at some time running water on the surface of Mars. I guess what's going on now is they're discovering evidence that these gullies are actually forming as we speak up to this day in some kind of a dry ice type of situation. The observations made by the NASA Mars Reconnaissance Orbiter indicate the gullies on Mars' surface are primarily formed by the seasonal freezing of carbon dioxide and not liquid water. The first reports of formative gullies on Mars in 2000 generated excitement and headlines because they suggested the presence of water on the red planet, the eroding action which forms the gullies here on Earth. I guess we got a whole different thing on Mars. It's got water vapor, plenty of frozen water, but the presence of liquid water has not been confirmed, and basically this is another nail in that coffin. So if you were holding out for liquid water on Mars, you're kind of fucked at this point. Looks like your last best hope is gone. Let's see. Did somebody just talk to me? I couldn't hear that. No? Okay. Good. Let's talk about the Parkes Observatory. Oh, looks like we got people contacting the show already. Sorry, guys. The Parkes Observatory is known informally as the Dish. Now, this is a huge radio telescope observatory located 20 kilometers north of the town of Parkes in New South Wales, Australia. It's been around a long time. Let's see, 1961 it was completed, and done a lot of important scientific work. I guess it was funded by the Carnegie Corporation and the Rockefeller Foundation. some names that come up time and again in internet research, not usually in a positive light. But these guys helped build this giant dish. It's done a lot of good work over the years. Not going to bore you with the details, but the important part is, well, fuck you, I will. It was support for the NASA Apollo missions in the late 1960s. Receiver upgrades and detailed observations began in the 1970s. Boy, I thought a list would be interesting. This is a boring-ass list. Between 1997 and 2002, it conducted the High-Pass Neutral Hydrogen Survey, the largest blind survey for galaxies on the neutral hydrogen line to date. Whatever, man. This fucking telescope's important. So, what's going on with this fucking telescope is that it's detected over the past few years some mysterious radio bursts coming from beyond the Milky Way. It was considered a pretty revolutionary discovery. This happens every once in a while. You know, I think a long time ago, SETI in like 1977 had detected some radio signals from beyond the Milky Way. They called it the WOW signal. It happens once in a while. And I guess these are particularly compelling, and they've had a few of them. And there was some controversy about them until what I think is called the Arecibo ARECIBO radio telescope confirmed by making a similar detection. So what these are is short bursts of radio waves, which a lot of people are arguing about whether or not they're, of intelligent, if the source is intelligent or if there's some kind of natural source like a black hole or... Anyways, in my short reading up on the topic, I discovered there's some natural radio wave sources on Earth, and could be some in deep space. What do you know?
Even like the rings of Saturn, like when you bring them down to the frequency of like the human hearing range, like between 20 and 20, it sounds kind of like a choir of strings almost, like a room full of violins and stuff like that. So there's signals out there that just like naturally occur in space.
And they're radio waves?
Yeah, that's how we're interpreting them. Yeah,
so anyways, some pretty cool news there if they can figure out what the fuck's going on. Good luck there, scientists. I found an interesting article here. Now we're going to kind of go into tinfoil hat land for a minute. Let's see. Oh, did you turn it up after the broadcast started a whole bunch or something? Oh.
Not a whole bunch, but I did...
People were saying they couldn't hear it at first. Sorry, everybody.
No, I did boost the signal.
All right, well, I guess we're good now.
I guess, everybody out there, it seems to be fine now. If it's not, let us know.
So, we got a report from the ConsciousReporter.com. ConsciousReporter.com. This is a forum where I guess people can, post their articles and such. We had a guy who wrote this article, and I didn't save his name because I'm stupid. But the article, you can look this up, Edge of Tomorrow, is this the latest Hollywood blockbuster pushing a false flag alien invasion agenda? I thought we should go over this on the Sunday evening overdose and try to milk some time out of this. Storytelling has long been a powerful way of conveying messages. Stories can be retold for thousands of years, helping to shape a society's values, whether for good or ill. Storytelling is so powerful, in fact, that there's not much difference for our brains between participating in events and learning of them through stories. Movies are one of the most compelling and immersive forms of storytelling we have, which means they can have a powerful effect on our worldview. And I'd agree with that. It's something that a lot of us really kind of resisted believing, and more evidence comes out over the years, about how your subconscious brain perceives things that even your logical, you have the logical understanding are theatrical or made up. This is another old theory that they kind of inundate us with aliens in pop culture to, support the view that we might be attacked or something, or make it easier to fake an attack or whatever, basically get people used to the idea so they'll, possibly believe in something like that to be used against them is the idea. I guess this movie starts with a confusing collage of news clips reporting an alien invasion. We are told we've suffered millions of casualties and that all of humanity is at stake. This war is apparently taking place in the near future, as press conference footage shows an actor who closely resembles Hillary Clinton as the U.S. president. The story follows Major William Cage, who is thrown into battle as part of the NATO-led U.S. Defense Force. Sporting a weaponized mechanical suit to fight against alien invaders known as mimics. When Cage kills and is doused in the blood of an alpha mimic, he takes on their power to reset the day every time he dies. Alright, this movie sounds stupid as fuck, first of all. I'm done reading about it. It sucks. But, let's see what this guy is saying here.
Forming.
That's wrong. The mimics, I guess, look like a cross between a demon, a piranha, and a black tentacled octopus. They are fast, merciless, and deadly, with one reviewer describing them as nightmare creatures that look like razor-tentacled squid. A lot of testimony here that they just look nightmarish and demonic. It's a common narrative tool to make the film villain appear to be lacking in human qualities. They achieve this by contrasting the darkness of the mimics with the humanity and pain and love for two main protagonists. Yeah, it sounds like a dumb movie again. Your average fucking Hollywood bullshit.
I think is the scientific term.
So, pitch black eyes. The alien's eyes aren't black in the film, so what would that have to do with resetting the day? Maybe it has more to do with drawing upon other instances of black-eyed beings and creating a subconscious perception that these features are associated with ETs. This guy sucks. I hate the person that wrote this article. I'm glad that I didn't mention his name, and if it doesn't get better, we're gonna fucking abandon this shit. But if you guys want to call in about alien invasion, false flags, or any of the other topics that we're discussing, 708-244-8142, give us a call. So in The Edge of Tomorrow, we're not supposed to just fear the ETs. We're actually being programmed to actively want to take up arms against them. And this is another major theme portrayed through the film's global United Defense Force. This is a thing, this is my own comment here, in a lot of these movies where there's some kind of outside invasion force or maybe like, some apocalyptic threat. There's always this scene, where all the major countries in the world unite on a fucking conference room, picture video conference thing and argue a few times. And then like the guy from Russia's crazy and wants to kill everything. And the Americans calm everyone down and get, whoever, Bruce Willis or somebody to save shit. But the point is, there's always this idea. I agree with this guy that there's always this sort of point in the movie that, there's like a world defense organization of some kind formed. And if you follow the narrative of the world government, New World Order, that we're all so terrified of, you'll see the programming connection there. During the lead-up to the 2012 London Olympics, the Daily Mail posted an article full of fear-mongering towards ETs, warning people to be alert against a possible alien threat. Really? Can we find that? The Daily Mail posted an article full of fear-mongering towards ETs leading up to the 2012 London Olympics.
Daily Mongrel?
No, Daily Mail.
Mongrel? Okay.
Yeah, the Daily Mail. The logical course is to unite the world against the alien threat, combining our military strength and fighting under the United Nations. But some countries might not fight. We saw this type of treachery and cowardice in the Second World War, though some brave people joined the resistance. Much of France accepted Nazi occupation. Yeah, this is, I don't know, this guy might be onto something. But it's up for you out there to decide when the time comes, is it a hoax or do you really have to fucking start killing some shit? Some fucking shitty aliens. coming in, causing us a threat as a species. I don't know, man. This guy seems a little bit wacky, but check that out. The Edge of Tomorrow. You can find. We'll post that on our Facebook page. The latest Hollywood blockbuster pushing false flag alien invasion agenda. We had a UFO sighting in Fayetteville, Arkansas. This was posted on one of the UFO forums. No corroboration on this. This is just a member's individual account from July 11th. They posted on July 11th. At 8 p.m. on July 10th in 2014, Fayetteville, Arkansas. My son Rocky was outside when he observed a strange blackish-colored object that seemed to come straight into the atmosphere. At that moment, he yelled for me to come outside, that he was seeing something strange. As we observed the object, it was hovering at this point at or around 1,000 feet. The object appeared to be shaped like a stop sign. The object makes a sudden movement north at a speed that was just amazing. It disappeared in just a flash, standing there in amazement. We continued to look in the sky for a few minutes, and then the object was then right above us at around 500 feet. It moved to the west, and 1 or 2 minutes began to fade and rotate. As it rotated counterclockwise, we could see what looked like a huge square glowing under amber-orange window on the side of it. It remained still for maybe another minute and then disappeared. All right. And apparently this was posted by a flight attendant in Fayetteville, Arkansas, new UFO sighting. There you go, motherfuckers. 708-244-8142. Call me and talk some shit. We had a UFO sighting, let's see, in Italy. Sparkling angel-like flying objects spotted hovering over Italy. This is an article from the IB Times, International Business Times, by, this name is never going to be right, Parasmita Goswami. Good enough. July 11th, 2014. In a surprise sighting, unidentified flying objects like orbs spotted sparkling the skies of Italy. The magnificent glowing objects appeared more like a group of angels to the residents of Milan, who spotted them on the 6th of July. This beautiful but strange sighting was captured in 9 minutes in a 9-minute and 31-second video clip and posted on YouTube. And we'll try to get that on our Facebook page too if you want to play along. The UFO changes shape in ways that we have never seen before. At one point, it looks like mini orbs, then changes to many angel-like beings. Very fascinating, and the color is magnificent. It's a pretty good video. I checked it out earlier. You might want to check it out. Of course, there's the usual vicious arguments in the comment section and whatever. But some shiny kind of diamondish kind of shit going on there. UFO over Italy. There you go. If we missed anything, if you guys know any UFO kind of news that you think of, feel free to let us know on our Facebook page or call us up, because otherwise I'm moving on to sharks. The dangerous threat to humanity all across the coastal waters of this and many other countries. Sharks, the shark apologists, all over the internet and many of our beloved publications would have you believe that we're intruders in their territory, and this is, this is what they do. But I would argue, does that make it right? Just because sharks have been ripping and tearing living creatures apart for millions of years, does that make it okay? I'm asking. Call in, let me know what you think. We do have a video here. It looks like we do actually have a caller. I'm going to take this, see what the fuck this guy wants. You are on the Sunday evening overdose. Who's this? Where are you calling from?
Hey, this is Alan Kay calling from the DG area.
All right, what do you got?
Sorry, I'm going back to the alien thing for just a second here, if you don't mind.
That's fine. We barely even got into sharks, and I hate sharks anyways. I said we've barely even gotten into the sharks, and I hate them anyways. Go ahead.
All right. Okay, so I remember in like one of the stories you're talking about, these people are mentioning the approximate heights of this thing. Oh, it must have only been 1,000 feet in the air, or it was only that. This is where I start wondering about some of these stories, is when they start making claims like that. How the fuck high in the air do you know? I mean, how can you possibly know that? You don't know how big this thing is. You don't have, like, any kind of frame of reference to figure out, like, how small or big that thing should look and, like, what altitude it's going to be at just from, like, seeing it. I don't know.
Fine.
That was just my 2 cents on it.
You just called to fucking spoil shit for everybody, or what?
Huh?
You just called to spoil that story for everyone?
I didn't catch that, sorry.
You can't hear me? I said you called to just spoil the story for everyone, or what?
I mean, not spoil the story. I just, I was kind of questioning things. I wonder, when you gotta be careful when you read stories like this, because there's a lot of people just making shit up out there.
I don't have to be careful. I can do whatever I want. I have my own show. I have no boss. I don't have to do shit. No.
I mean,
that's it. That's an uncorroborated. It's an uncorroborated story. And to tell you the truth, I have it printed out, and I don't even have the website that it came on. So, yeah, I don't know. That's just a story, and I go on the MUFON and the some of the other UFO forums, and you take them for what they are. I saw something weird in the sky, and I posted on there one time, and it was true. I mean, I don't know. Might be true, might not be true. But this lady was a flight attendant, so
Yeah, but I mean, like, sure, she's comparing to what the plane looks like. I mean, that's just I don't know. I mean, I'm not saying that she's not true. I really hate it when people start throwing in bits of information that they think is going to make their story sound more credible, or just give it more facts and details, when it's just like, you couldn't possibly know that, and you're undermining whatever it is you're attempting to do here, or you're just full of shit.
Yeah. Yeah, total bullshit. I agree. It's pretty hard to fucking judge the height of an aircraft that you have no idea what the size of it is.
Yeah.
Anything else? Any alien news or what?
No. The last weird, sort of extraterrestrial thing I remember was, maybe 6 months back. I remember that there was my brother and a couple of his friends had kept seeing this weird purple light in the sky. They never saw what the heck was creating it or anything. They saw this purple glowing coming from somewhere, and they tried to spot it down a couple of times. It was if I'm not mistaken, something that lasted for maybe a week or so, and then nothing really came of it. But that was the last big thing that I heard about in this area. So there you go.
Did they report it?
Honestly, I can't remember if they put it up anywhere or anything like that.
All right, thanks for the call.
No problem.
Yeah,
Great.
bye. Ugh. Shitty call. Gotta report your UFO sightings, people. It might seem insignificant, but it's the, it's the compilation of all the anecdotal evidence that starts to, add together into something maybe a bit more credible to the naysayers. Who knows? Although, probably not. We got some shark news we're going to move into. Apparently, there's some chick who's protesting shark culling in Australia. Why is beyond me. This is precisely the kind of thing that I'm talking about on this show, and one of the reasons that I started it. We're gonna put a video up for sure this time. If anybody on my crew hears me say that we're putting a video on the Facebook page, it would be awesome if you could help me out, because I'm a little behind on that. But this is going up right now. I guess this chick dances with sharks on the bottom of the ocean and thinks that's supposed to impress someone, or make us stop killing these bloodthirsty monsters. This is going up on the Sunday Evening Overdose Facebook page right now, if you'd like to play along. This is Hannah Fraser, the world's most celebrated mermaid / underwater model and a dedicated conservationist, decided to dive headfirst into the battle and make a profound statement in opposition to her government's shark cull philosophy. I guess as we and many other concerned news outlets and organizations in internet land have reported, there have been a surprising number of shark attacks this year, and they're only expected to be on the rise. And a few fatalities in Australia already, I think. So I guess in response to all that, the Australian government is killing a whole bunch of sharks, and I say more power to them. It's about time we just show the shark apologists that we mean business. Teaming up with an Emmy Award-winning cinematographer and photographer Sean Heinrich, the world's leading authority on interactions with large predatory sharks, Jim Abernethy, the trio embarked on a dangerous mission the likes of which have never before been attempted. Let's see. Their objective was to present these magnificent creatures in a true and positive light by capturing iconic imagery of Hannah face-to-face with a 15-foot tiger shark, her hand resting gently on its massive head. Yeah, I'm going to try to pull this video up, but I would first like to say that this girl, I mean, you can make all the points you want to make about sharks. You know, all you're doing is you're putting yourself out there with these sharks. All you're doing is risking being eaten alive. You know, you never would have just arguing your case from the shore or going swimming like a normal person, probably. How much would I have liked this girl to get bitten in half by a huge shark in this video? You have no idea. Because that's my fucking story. That's my PSA right there. Dance with sharks, you fucking die. I don't know. They did it successfully. I guess what's been going on is, there's a lot of things contributing to the shark attacks, and there's a big fight, blah, blah, blah. It's not the shark's fault. Fishermen are throwing too much fish garbage off the shores. This and that. You know the arguments. I guess tiger sharks' numbers have been severely depleted. But, you know, tell that to the individuals that we've reported on in the past few weeks who are now, you know, slowly digesting somewhere deep in the sea off the shore of Australia, and see what their families think about your little fucking shark dance. All right. In other shark news, we had a Quincy man. A Quincy man was arrested after swimming in an aquarium shark tank. There's an article by Justine Hofher. A Quincy man who jumped into a tank containing a shark at the New England Aquarium Thursday afternoon was arrested. Stephen Pellegrin, 51, jumped into the large center tank around 6:30 p.m. Aquarium staff immediately demanded that he exit the water, but they say he swam around for several minutes before complying. Erica Brody, an assistant district attorney, said the fish tank was 27 feet deep. That's what I love about this style of reporting. Erica Brody, they get a quote from the district attorney, and then it's that the fish tank was 27 feet deep, instead of just fucking looking that information up and saying it. Fuck you, Justine Hoffer, and your stupid goddamn article. We also had, what? Let's see. Even a shark bite won't stop this teenage surfing fanatic. A shark bit 14-year-old Tristan Durham's foot Wednesday while he surfed off Eastern Florida. While he surfed off Eastern Florida's New Smyrna Beach. It's a popular destination, popular vacation spot. You like that, America? They're moving closer and closer to you. As listeners to my show know, this issue became personal to me when I myself ventured into the ocean of Pensacola Beach not 2 months ago and rarely escaped with my life, being attacked by several sharks, which were found to be trolling the waters, eating human beings. In the following days and weeks, we barely made it out. I guess this kid, Tristan Durham, got bit on the foot while he surfed an area dubbed the shark bite capital of the world. Yeah, this is what kind of people we're dealing with here. The teen, who has been surfing since he was 3, remembered dramatic details of the attack. And I bet you anything, I haven't even gotten yet, I bet you anything, this guy is not mad at sharks. This is the insanity we deal with around the fucking coastal waters. I think the sharks have actually done something to get in people's heads, honestly. Hey, Max, can you bring me up the laptop?
14-year-old Tristan Durham
This is that story.
the moment a shark sank its teeth into his leg.
I was blown away. I didn't think I'd be a bit. I didn't even believe it at first.
Tristan was surfing at New Smyrna Beach with his friends
who would
Wednesday.
think there'd be
He'd been out on
sharks
the
in the
water
ocean,
for just
you
over an
fucking
hour
idiot.
when the shark took a nasty bite out of his right foot.
I started ripping my foot away from it, and it wouldn't let go, so I just had to rip it out of its mouth.
Oh, yeah, another poignant comment. Fucking mainstream reporting. I just had to rip my foot away from it. Why interview this kid?
According to beach safety officers, this is the 5th shark bite in Volusia County this year. All were reported to be in the same area at a beach dubbed the shark bite capital of the world.
At first, when I got bit, though, it didn't hurt as bad. Like, it was like I was all adrenaline. And so when I was paddling in, I didn't even feel it. I just looked at my foot, and I seen it, and I got all, like, I don't know, it felt really weird. I didn't want to look at it again. I was going to pass out.
Tristan was taken to Halifax Health Medical Center in Daytona Beach, where he underwent surgery to repair 2 tendons.
Worst time.
Yeah, we
All
could
my
also
life.
do a story on the diminishing vocabulary of America's youth based on this video. Kid's pretty stupid. How old is he?
Honestly,
14?
like, you just never want, your kids to be hurt.
His mom, Angela Golden, says she also couldn't believe what happened.
We're thankful to the Lord right now that he's here with us and that it was just a bite and nothing worse.
Tristan, who has been surfing since he was just 3 years old, says he can't wait to get out of his hospital bed and back onto his board.
It's going to stop you from going back in the water?
Not at all. I'll be out there right when it
Yep.
heals. I'm not going to stop surfing just
See?
because of one shark.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, now that Tristan is out.
It's not one shark, stupid motherfucking kid. It's millions of sharks everywhere. Listen to this. Great white sharks off South Carolina and Georgia coastline, not just passing through. The great white sharks patrolling the Beaufort County, South Carolina, and Georgia coast aren't just passing tourists. They're starting families here in what has become the prime birthing location of the North Atlantic Ocean. This is what I told you. This is what I've been telling you for weeks. They're not going anywhere. They're gonna be setting up in your neighborhoods. Your kids are gonna be going to school with them. This is what you're gonna deal with. Fishermen and scientists are closely watching Mary Lee, a 16-foot, 3,450-pound great white who is pregnant and appears to be headed toward Hilton Head Island, presumably to give birth, said Chris Fisher. And they're just, this just drives me mad. Every single week, they're just watching it. This article should say, let's see, here's what this article should say. Fishermen and scientists are spearing to death and violently ripping to pieces Mary Lee, a 16-foot, 3,450-pound great white. That's what this article should say. But they're just fucking watching it, and they know it's going to give birth. When I look at Mary Lee's track, it appears to me that the region is likely to be part of that birthing. The breeding site is, whatever. These people are really pissing me off. Basically, what we got here is they're monitoring the activity of a bunch of sharks off the coast, and they're finding new breeding activities. New breeding activities for great white sharks. They're also following all types of other sharks, but of course great whites are the ones we're concerned with in the sensationalist anti-shark community. With the help of the Hilton Head fishermen Chip Michelove and Brian Fraser, a marine biologist, Department of National Resources, the group is following the movements of 7 tiger sharks as well, and these are some of the most likely to attack humans. So there you go. And what was that last part? Was Let me see that again. Let me just make sure I got this right, because this is an outrage. Department of Natural Resources. That's a government department, South Carolina, Department of Natural Resources. If you live in South Carolina, your tax dollars are going to track and, monitor, but not to kill any sharks. Just to come fucking make friends with them, write down shit about them, do nothing, while you and your family are torn to bits on the shorelines. This is really a shame. We also had a surfboard bitten out in California. No injury there. It was back on the 5th. We got another story here, but it hasn't been, I have no idea what it is. It was just handed to me. World-renowned shark expert George Burris, keeper of the International Shark Attack File, is used to getting silly questions about the ocean's most fearsome predator. Are sharks out to get you? Yes. He says no. The 64-year-old University of Florida professor is co-author of a new book, Sharks, The Animal Answer Guide, which contains a trove of great information for sharkophiles. They're identified, let's see, another way you can look at this is, any shark that can get to be 6 feet or longer can be considered dangerous. Burgess said he receives many inquiries about great white sharks. They are identified in many shark attacks because they occur in areas where they are the only species. But if you are looking for the common grabber in Florida, that would be the blacktip shark. When there is an attack, it gets more media attention. Blame the internet. Here in Florida, most shark attacks occur during summer, but most experts, Burgess included, say the majority of shark-human encounters are cases of mistaken identity. Why did you guys hand me this fucking article? Is Tracy out there? What the fuck am I supposed to know about this? Whatever. Thanks a lot. God damn it. The worst show I've ever fucking done. What time is it? 9:40. Let's go to police news. I know we always get callers on this. 708-244-8142. If you want to call in about police in yours or any other area. We got a police officer in Uganda shot an aggressive tortoise to death. Policeman in Uganda has reportedly shot a tortoise dead, maintaining the reptile attacked him in his home. The incident, which has left Officer Charles Onegu traumatized and stressed, occurred in the Nebi district in the north of the country. Onegu claims he was relaxing in his home after work when the hard-shelled assailant made his move. I tried to scare it, but the tortoise became very aggressive. I took a stick to chase it, but instead became more violent, making me to make alarm, he told New Vision newspaper. After threatening the creature with a plastic chair, the tortoise left the policeman's home. It was then that the officer, Onigo, instinctively pulled his firearm on the big white tortoise. This is, police violence against tortoises, I suppose, in Uganda. Not much different than the way they treat dogs around here. Yeah. Out in Idaho, an officer shot and killed a pit bull on Wednesday morning near 8th Street in Sherman. Investigators described the dog as a vicious pit bull and said it lunged at the officer. However, the dog's owner said the dog was not a pit bull, but a black lab. Common mistake with police officers. The incident began Wednesday morning when an officer responded to a call about a suspicious van. The caller claimed the driver of the van was watching young children from a nearby parking lot. The owners of a coffee shop reported the white van because they thought it was possibly connected to a child luring case. When the officer approached the van with his gun drawn, the dog lunged out of the open driver's side window, according to the police. The officer said the pit bull lunged at his face. Investigators said the officer fired one round from his service weapon and shot the dog in the chest. The dog later died. The driver of the van, Craig Jones, was not in the vehicle at the time of the shooting. Jones said he was at a nearby place eating breakfast when the shooting happened. He was, let's see, he raised a 2-year-old black lab named Arfie. And the said dog did not have a mean bone in his body. If my dog is barking and wondering who's peering through the windows, he doesn't care if you're a cop, an attorney, or President Bush. When the fuck is this from? It says July 9th, 2014. Is this guy that stupid? Kind of out of date. Leader said the officer who shot the dog was distraught following the incident. Authorities said they also believe the child predator who has been spotted in a similar white van is still on the loose. So there you go. Gotta fucking shoot the dog. Always gotta shoot the dog. SWAT units kill 2 more dogs and find very little evidence in a no-knock raid. This was up in Minnesota. Let's see. In St. Paul at 7 a.m. on Wednesday. This is left family's 2 dogs dead. And this was a no-knock raid for drugs and weapons. The SWAT team barged in while the family was asleep, and I guess the father and his 2 children on a mattress, and shot the 2 pit bulls. So there you go. We're not going to get too much into that, but that was up in St. Paul. SWAT teams killing pit bulls this week. This is a good article. A man who shot at cops during a no-knock raid was acquitted on all charges. When I knew they were policemen, I lay face down and I kept saying, I'm sorry, I'm sorry. That's a quote from the shooter. A jury found Adrian Perryman not guilty on all 4 counts of aggravated assault on a peace officer. The incident that led to the charges against Perryman happened during the pre-dawn hours of October 26, 2010 in San Antonio, Texas. SAPD's Tactical Response Unit was executing a no-knock search warrant. The occupants in the house at the time were Perryman, his girlfriend Rebecca Flores, Flores' 3-year-old granddaughter Savannah. He saw 2 shadowy guys on his security cameras. The wife woke him up, tossed him his gun. He ran down. He said, don't come in, I've got a gun, I'm going to shoot, stay out. Somebody kicked in the door and he shot him dead. And that's the way it goes sometimes when you're trying to fucking break into people's houses in the middle of the night unannounced. I remember telling him the police were here, and this is the wife talking. She remembers telling him that the police were here, and she thought they were there to protect them. She was quite relieved until she realized what had happened. So the guy was immediately surrendered himself, and I'm kind of surprised he made it out of that situation alive, actually. I'm not sure how you're able to kill a cop with other cops around and survive, but this guy figured it out. I guess it does happen every once in a while. Good for these cops for not murdering him and putting his gun back in his hand. I guess, let's see, the 29-year-old man, oh wait, let's see, this was a different case. The author of the article is just referencing the details of the latest victim in another case where a 29-year-old guy was gunned down in his own home in another no-knock warrant where they found 0.2 grams of marijuana. This shit happens all the time. We all know it. You can look it up. But that's just one of them. Livingston, Illinois this week. Federal agents apparently have swarmed a place in Livingston, Illinois. I guess just the town. They showed up and kind of made like a base on a playground of sorts, and trying to get this video up here for you. I'll put it up on our Facebook. You can check that out. Sunday Evening Overdose Facebook. But yeah, they set up and really with no explanation started doing some kind of big drills, helicopters, black uniforms, the whole bit. A lot of people would argue this goes on in small towns all over the country as just kind of conditioning and getting people used to seeing, you know, this kind of presence and converging the police and military and on down the list. I guess the citizens were very interested and attracted, and say the officers were hospitable and even invited the kids to check out the choppers up close. So there you go. That's some big mysterious drill in Livingston, Illinois. Homeland Security, U.S. Customs, and Border Patrol, all convening on this small town out in the middle of nowhere. Well, I have to say I'm pretty pissed off at all of you that you're not calling in and adding anything to this bullshit show. This is the Sunday Evening Overdose once again. We're going to come back in a little while with our guests from Clinton County Paranormal Research, Dustin Gable and Jason May, coming up soon. And they were just out last night at McPike's Mansion, or McPike Mansion, in Alton, Illinois. For those of you who are familiar with Alton, you may know that it's renowned for many ghost stories and haunted places, all kinds of historical shit. So I guess they were out there. They got a bunch of EVPs. Those are those ghostly recordings that you've seen before, for those of you who aren't sure what that is. And they've sent some over to us. We're going to play them for you guys, and we can see what you think. So that'll be after the break. We'll come back and do some other shit, have a few drinks, hang out, and you're spending the night with the Sunday Evening Overdose. I'm going to take you out with the few songs here, and we'll be back to talk ghosts. Whoops. No, we're not. Hang on a second. I will be in 1 second. God, that was almost such a fucking slick transition, too. One day, if you stick with this broadcast... Fucking Christ. If you stick with this broadcast long enough, we might have a show where everything doesn't go horribly. And people don't fuck with me and make fun of me for the rest of the week. That would be nice. That would be great. Alright, we're back. Did that song just end like that? We were about to get to our guests who did an investigation last night at McPike Mansion, which is a very old mansion out in Alton, Illinois. Very notorious, goes back to 1869, very notorious in the world of paranormal investigation in that region. So why don't we go ahead and bring these guys on. Dustin Gable and Jason May from Clinton County Paranormal Research Group. Are you guys here?
Yes, we are. Yep.
All right, how's it going, guys?
Not bad. How you guys doing?
All right, thanks for coming on last minute. I appreciate it. You guys are out in Clinton County. For those that don't know, that's, what do you call, Southern Illinois, yeah?
Yep, Southern Illinois.
And you guys just did an investigation at a pretty notorious location last night, huh?
Yes, we did.
And how'd it go?
Awesome. Very active last night, mainly because of the full moon and how close it was. We had a lot more activity than usual.
I don't know if people can hear the caller. I think it needs to be turned up. So you guys had a ton of activity, yeah?
Yes, we did.
And you sent me over a bunch of EVPs, and for our listening audience that doesn't know what that is, you want to give them a quick explanation?
The EVP, electronic voice phenomena, is when you get spirit speaking to you that you don't physically hear, but it shows up on a recording device like a digital recorder, a cassette tape, or sometimes even video will pick up the audio of something talking that's not physically there.
Sure. Do you have any opinion as to whether these are typically intelligent or some kind of replay of some kind, or do you have an opinion on that?
Well, sometimes some locations will have what's called residual, which is one event that constantly keeps playing over and over, like a tape. And then you also have the intelligent EVPs that interact with you, answer questions, like in the Pike Mansion. There's a lot of intelligent responses to questions that we ask, and they're totally aware of what's going on around them.
Hey, we stop 1 second. If one of you guys has radio on, can you turn that down, please?
Right.
Or whatever, speakers. It's not a radio.
Right.
So you're saying you've got you've got both of them. You've got stuff that interacts with you, and you've got things that could just be a residual, kind of left by some kind of extreme emotion or something.
Yes.
So a little bit of background on you guys. How long have you had the Clinton County Paranormal Research Group?
We've been around since '98, but didn't really go public until 2 years ago when we did the first big investigation, which was in Pike on Halloween in 2013. And since then, cases have been picking up. We've been getting contacted and getting a lot more busy with going to hit locations and collecting evidence. So it's really picking up once we get the name out.
So are you doing a lot of personal cases, people that are having trouble with some kind of activity in their home or something?
We've done 4 since last year. Private residences that have things going on that shouldn't be.
Sure.
So yes, we do those too.
It's no doubt interesting work. Let's get to the investigation last night. The history of this place is, I guess, for people around there, this is one of your classic haunted places that just has tons of ghost stories. So you guys have a pretty impressive amount of EVPs here. Do you want to kind of introduce anything, or what's some of your favorite ones that we can play here?
I'd say the favorite one was the one from the very first investigation we did, where we had a 100% skeptic that came with us, which was Moose from 97.5, a local radio station. And he flat out told me before the investigation that he is a skeptic and he does not believe in this at all. So during the seance that we did, the first one that was contacted was him, and he heard a woman speaking to him, and he actually did stop the seance and comment on it. Soon after that, on the video clip that we have, you see an orb come out of the wall at the same exact time an EVP was caught on both video and digital recorders. And pretty much what it said was a female voice giggled and said, "Yes, it's me."
So this is the It's Me EVP. I'm going to play this for our listeners real quick.
Yeah, that's the one.
Can we bring the laptop up there?
Ear to ear.
Okay, let me play that again. I think we might have missed it. Oh, there it was right there. So it's right after the guy says, "Is somebody whispering?" It's me. You hear a faint voice. Let me play it one more time. Yeah. And so that wasn't any part of your team, obviously. You guys ruled all that stuff out.
No, because as soon as he said that he heard a woman speaking to him, the whole room went totally silent, and we just kind of sat and listened a little bit. And to catch that visual thing also on the infrared camera coming out of the wall at the same exact time that was being said, that kind of had validity to it.
So we had the guy ask the question, is somebody whispering? And at the same time that we get the answer, you had a video of an orb coming out of the wall.
At the exact same time.
Okay. That one's pretty cool. And so you told me earlier that actually connected to another EVP, suggesting possible like memory or intelligence.
Yes, it does. The second visit, he wanted to go back and sit in the exact same spot and just kind of rethink what happened to him, because as of that event, he flat out told me that he is no longer a skeptic since he experienced that, and he wanted to sit down and go back over what happened and think about it. And he was talking about his experience with the owner of McPike Mansion, and soon after that, we got the same exact female voice that verified by saying, "Yes, you did." And it answered him when he was talking about that. So that that alone shows intelligence that they can remember things that happened.
You're referencing in this clip. He's referencing the previous time. And let's see. Let's play this for our listeners. Ah, that is creepy. Here, I'm
Yes, it is.
gonna play that again one time.
Kind of like that.
So he's talking about the last time you were there, yeah? And
Yep.
she says, yes, you did, like remembering what he had been doing.
Whenever I
Yes, that's exactly what happened.
Yes, you did. That one's
And that-
clear, too.
because I went kind of
And that shows that, there's going to be intelligence to it, because that was, a few months after the initial event happened to him. And, for a spirit to remember that far back and, have some kind of conscience where they can actually remember those
Yeah,
events,
that's
that's kind of neat.
that is pretty cool. I mean, who knows what exactly it means, but it is pretty thrilling to get that kind of a sort of connection there, yeah.
And see, at the time that was caught, none of us, after he said that, none of us heard anything said. But when I got back home and pulled the audio off the recorders, and I cut the noise level out, dropped it down, and started playing it, that was caught. But none of us physically heard that being said at the time.
Yeah, that's very cool. So you do, you clean these all up and do production work on them yourself then?
Yes.
Just out of curiosity, if anybody's interested in doing this on their own, what do you recommend to help capture the EVP? How do you reduce the noise?
How do you do what?
How do you reduce the noise on these clips to try to hear the EVP better?
We use a program called Audacity, which is totally free to download and use. Once you load the audio file into Audacity, the first thing you do is normalize it, which that cuts out a lot of the bass level noise, and that allows you to pull the EVPs out so you can listen to them a lot easier. And then, the clip and the paste, that's a little bit tricky to get figured out.
Sure.
But once you get it figured out, you know what to do. But it helps clean it up and try to remove some of that baseline noise, so it's easier to pull the actual voices out.
Okay. There's a note for our aspiring paranormal researchers or investigators out there. So what other of these EPs or any of these EVPs are they from last night?
I haven't gotten all the audio done from last night yet.
Okay.
We got back about 2 o'clock in the morning from last night's investigation.
So all these ones that we're hearing are from previous investigations, but they're from
Previous, but
they're
it's
they're
the
all
same
from
location.
Yeah, okay. So
Same location.
if you're just joining us, it's Dustin Gable and Jason May from Clinton County Paranormal Research talking about their investigation of McPike Mansion in Alton, Illinois. So what else from McPike? What do you recommend from the EVPs here?
Any of them you want to play? I mean,
Well, let's
you've got
see.
some of the best evidence that we've gotten. So
We've got one here called I Hear Music.
okay, and I'll tell you about that because we had a local radio station that did a Halloween show, and we broadcasted live from McPike. And while the music was playing between the sets when they had us on the live radio talking about what we do, answering questions, on the audio recorders, we have the spirit of a boy that's on the location, and I have the EVP of him that says, I hear music. And that was caught, pulled off, cleaned up. And if he wants to play that, it's kind of neat.
Let's check that out.
Because
We'll play it a couple times. Here, turn this up for the listeners. Yeah. Right at the end there. And that's I Hear Music, yeah?
Mm-hmm. That's with headphones on, with audio clip cleaned up. I was able to pull that out really clean, and there's no mistaking what it says.
Okay, so let's try another one. How about Where's My Mommy? That sounds creepy.
That was actually caught in 2 different locations at the exact same time. Because behind the property there's 2 vaults where 2 kids used to be buried at behind the house. That was caught at that gravesite and also inside the house at the exact same time on 2 different recorders.
Oh, wow.
And it is a female child that's saying, where's my mommy?
Let's try this. Hang on.
and that was caught 2 different times.
All right, so that one's pretty deep in the background. Do you know exactly where the EVP is in that one?
That specific one?
Let's see. I think I hear it right there. Where's my mommy? And you say that, so you got that on 2 separate recordings. Do we have both of those or just one? Yeah, it looks like
I just sent the one file,
one,
but
yeah.
it's the exact same thing that was caught in 2 places at the same time, which, that kind of prompted me to look up that one SPID can actually be in 2 locations at the same time, and there's a lot of case studies done that do show that they can be in 2 different spots at the same time.
Yeah, I
So
mean, it would make sense if it's not a normal audio, it's not a normal sound wave going through the air. There's something else going on here. It could pass through walls or whatever, and just occupy a certain amount of space, I guess, huh? So let's see, what else do we have? We've got a "You Need Help." That sounds interesting. This is from November 30th of 2013.
So that one, when you get into the wine cellar, they have the plastic lawn chairs that everybody sits in. We had them all stacked up in the corner, and on that visit, I had my daughter with me, and we were all in the wine cellar, unstacking all the chairs, setting them up so we could sit down. And something spoke directly to my daughter, which called her name, and then said, "You need help." Like she wanted to know if my kid needed help setting stuff up.
All right, let's.
And that was kind of odd.
Let's play this one. Hang on. Is that the voice right at the end there?
It's right at the end.
Yeah.
And if you really stop and think about the way that female voice sounds, it doesn't even sound like anything that we would normally hear. It's got like an odd ambience to it.
So there's a woman talking almost through the whole thing. Is that whole thing the EVP?
It's the whole thing. There's whispering all through it. Some of that is us.
Okay.
But the "You Need Help" is the main EVP. And when you pull that into Audacity, the wavelength shows that that's, really thin. So it's not like...
So it's a different voice, yeah.
It's no voice that was physically heard at the time.
So let's see, right there at the end, "You Need Help."
And it doesn't, it doesn't even sound like somebody normally talking like they would.
Right, yeah.
Like, if I said, "You need help," it sounded kind of broken, like "you need," and the help sounded like it was kind of cut off.
Yeah.
Like, like the radio station signal was kind of fading in and out.
Yeah, it's hard to almost, to discern some of them just playing them, on the MP3 like this. But,
yeah.
But yeah, I definitely hear a strange voice at the end of there that is either, it almost sounds like it's in reverse or something, or,
Yeah, it had an odd, like, tone to it. That, the normal human voice of someone speaking that's alive wouldn't be anything like that. It had an odd, I don't know, it's tough to describe. You just have to listen to it. And,
so let's say,
think about it.
We've also got, what's this one? Name called "It's the House."
That was, we were actually sitting down after the chairs all got set up. And, just kind of sitting around in the wine cellar talking about, just the activity in the house alone. And, just kind of trying to figure out why so much activity happens. And the female comes in, my name is called, and then you hear a low whisper that says, "It's the house." So and that is that same female that also said the giggle and "it's me," and then responded to the other guy talking about what happened to him by saying, "Yes, you did." That is the same exact female voice.
Okay, so let's hear this one. We're gonna hear Dustin. It's the house, right?
That's what is on here.
Oh yeah, I heard it's the house for sure. Hang on.
If you got into Audacity and cleaned it up a little, just did normalize one time to pull one level of noise out, it'd be really loud, and you'd really be able to pull it out.
Yeah,
but it's definitely there.
That one is pretty creepy. It's those like close whispering ones that really get me. Those like, sounds like somebody just leans over it and whispers.
That constant whisper constantly goes on down there when you're recording. It's actually pretty cool.
So that's Jay piping up finally, or Jason, sorry, Jason saying
I just let him talk. He just takes over. So.
Constant whispering at
He wasn't on that one, so.
Oh, okay, that's why. But you're saying you hear a lot of weird kind of shit like that at McPike's.
Oh yeah. Last night we did some recording. That's constant. It was nonstop. And yeah, I can't wait to break some of them down with them. Some of them ghosts, spirits, whatever. They were pretty active. If there was a question, dance, called out, they pretty well acknowledged it pretty well, which is actually one of the better ones I've heard down there yet. So. Yeah,
you can definitely hear it. And if anybody's at home, we'll try to get all these posted up on our page somewhere for you. But it's the house. That's definitely a creepy whisper. You guys, by the way, can call in if you have any questions for our guests. 708-244-8142. Speak to them directly. A new feature at the Sunday Evening Overdose. Did we do, we didn't do Can You Play Nice, did we? I don't think so.
No, we didn't do that one yet.
So, you know what? Let me just play this one and see if we can pick it out without your help. Hang on.
Yep. Oh, you will.
Oh, is that deep voice, huh? Here, Max, turn this up a little, could you? So there's a really deep kind of disembodied voice right at the beginning of the clip. I assume that's the EVP you're talking about.
The child is towards the end of it. Actually.
Oh, really?
There was two EVPs.
Somebody
same
with a
audio clip.
Oh, so there's two. Okay. Let's see. So let's play the whole thing. Okay, so tell us what we're looking at there. Dustin, you there?
Yep.
Yeah, we're on the Can You Play Nice MP3. So, what are we hearing right at the beginning? There's a very deep and disembodied voice. Is that the Can You Play Nice?
That is believed to be Henry McPike, which used to live in the house, and we actually listened to him talk to us pretty much all night last night, and we spot checked a lot of the audio from last night's investigation, and he was on it a lot, and we also got that boy a few different times last night, and we spot checked and played some of that back last night for the owner. One really loud one that we caught was that same little boy, and exactly what he said to me last night was, "Will you play with me?" And that was played for the owner, for the shaman that was also with us, and they all listened to it in real time, and that was just caught last night. So it's still extremely active, and everything is still there.
Very cool. You're going to have to send us some of that stuff when you get it cleaned up.
Oh, definitely.
And let's see what else we got. Let's play a couple more of these, and then we'll move on. How about In a Tree?
That was Moose once again from 97.5. That was the same day that he came with us to sit down and rethink what happened to him when he got that response of "Yes, you did." Was later on that afternoon he had to go back to the station, and he was talking about well, we can't be hanging around here all day. We got to get going pretty soon. The minute that he said the word "hanging," that same boy's voice came in and said "in a tree." Now, for the time period, that's common in, the mid to late 1800s for people to be hung like that.
Sure.
But for that boy to have an EVP said of in a tree, tying in to him just saying hanging, that again shows intelligence. They do know what we do and talk about there.
And a lot of paranormal investigators talk about that kind of like, you know, trigger words or whatever, you know, that might trigger some kind of response from beyond.
Yep,
here. Let's play this one.
You got the same thing with like trigger objects. Like if you have, you know, like a set of marbles that's original and period to like say 1850, 1860, that can get some activity going too, because it's something that spirit's going to be familiar with, and they'll know what to do with it, and that'll kind of get them moving and talking a little. So, you know, yeah, there's keywords and things that can be said. It's like a switch to kind of flip it on and get them moving.
All right, let's check this one out. Hang on.
Yes, we're just hanging. We're not going to be here. But...
Wow, that was very clear. And, I mean, that's one of those ones that's so clear that it's hard to believe that there was no one there that said it, you know. It's like, I mean, obviously, I'm not accusing you of that, but it's just, you know what I mean? It's like, it's hard to believe that's just, you know, some anomaly when it's that clear. It's strange. Hang on, let me play that one more time.
Just hanging. We're not going to be here.
Yeah, just hanging in a tree.
That's just crazy.
Wow.
You know, the way McPike Mansion is set up, when you're actually in the wine cellar, you're like, you know, 15 to 18 feet underground, and with those doors closed, no outside noise gets in at all. It is that quiet down there. It's just silent. All the outside noise is blocked, so you're not going to have all that, you know, distortion and outside contamination coming in. It's really quiet down there. So when you catch an EVP inside the wine cellar, it's going to be loud because the ambience is just perfect. The acoustics in that cellar is just, it's the best conditions that you can get EVPs in because everything is so quiet.
It sounds, that's some of the, you know, it sounds just as good as anything high profile or high budget I've heard, you know. What about, let's do one last one. Let's see, how about Hey Dustin? So I assume,
that's, we were just getting ready to walk out of the cellar to leave for the day, and I had left something sitting on the table inside the wine cellar, and I had just thought about it, and I had to go back in and get it. As soon as I walked into the cellar, I'm by myself, and it's that same female voice that said, "Hey, Dustin," like right when I walked in, like they were going to remind me that I forgot something.
Okay.
And I physically heard that one being said to me right at that time.
All right, let's check this out.
Sometimes you do physically catch what's being said. Once in a while, you can hear that with your own ears.
All right, we're playing it. Yeah, right there, towards the end. Hey, Dustin. Yeah.
And, you know, that again shows intelligence that, you know, they know what we do. They're totally aware of us being in the house, what we do, what we talk about, and they interact with us. And it's, you know, the more you go, the more activity happens because they eventually get, you know, so used to you being there that, you know, they easily talk. That's our theory.
Yeah. You know, and I've always had I think like a lot of people, I've always had an easier time reconciling logically with the residual, you know, events and things like that you can maybe attribute to something we don't understand about the imprint we leave behind on a electromagnetic field or something. But the intelligent spirits is something that I kind of, you know, don't really look into all that much and kind of, you know, it's some part of me sort of wrote it off at some point. What can you tell me about why maybe I should give that a chance again? Do you guys have a lot of experience with intelligent spirits, as you might call them?
That's what they call them. And like I said, this was actually discussed last night after the event and investigation was done. that, we were kind of discussing the whole, residual versus intelligent haunting, and, why do the intelligent haunts exist? Because, just because somebody has died, they don't want to leave a certain place, that they like it there so much, they choose to stay, and that's the exact case with McPike Mansion. They don't want to leave. They obviously like being there, and they interact with all the people that come to do this and collect the evidence and listen to the EVPs and try to catch things on pictures.
Yeah, I mean, I know there's a huge, and there's a lot of people that believe in it, and there's a huge industry that runs on it too. What other kinds of things? We've heard all the EVPs. Have you guys gotten any decent photographs from McPike Mansion?
We have gotten quite a few photos, and one of them was actually posted on the radio show's Facebook page a while ago.
Okay.
Of a blue, mist type thing. That photo was actually caught by somebody else, from what I found out just an hour ago, about 4 or 5 years ago, I believe. Someone else that I've never met, never talked to, had captured that exact same thing in the same spot. I didn't know about that until a while ago. So, for 6 years apart, for two different people to catch that exact same thing, that's more credibility to, that not being smoke, breath, fog, which we did try to actually debunk that photo.
Yeah, it's a very creepy photo. You and who took this photo that you posted here? Was this you?
That was Roxanne, also from 97.5.
Okay. Sorry.
And the event that happened when that was taken, she was talking to me at the side of the kitchen, towards the back of the house, getting ready to go in. It's the first investigation she's ever actually been on, so she was a little bit spooked. And she said that she felt ice cold pass through her all the way, and she said it stopped directly behind her. So what I had told her to do was turn around and take about 4 or 5 pictures. She ended up taking 4 pictures on an iPhone, and the only one that had anything unusual in it was just that one. And it was, one picture after the other. But that only showed up in one.
Yeah, no, this is definitely a pretty cool-looking picture. For people that are playing along, if you want to go to the Sunday Evening Overdose Facebook page, Dustin has posted this picture to the page, and it looks like, I don't know, like a smoky specter, and it kind of has that effect if something ran around at 1,000,000 miles an hour, or something, but I don't know, it's sort of just like floating, smoky, kind of stretching.
Comes out the window, right? Yeah, we zoomed down it. There's actually, there's a couple spots.
Are you talking? We're having trouble hearing you. Are you talking directly in the phone? Sorry.
Kind of sounds
like
you're
I'm
cutting
calling
out.
in a bad connection or something.
Yeah,
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, just kind of yell at us, and we'll make do.
Oh, okay. I was just saying that that picture we zoomed in, there's a few spots in it as you get deeper into it. It looks like an outline of a woman coming out looking at you. I think that's pretty.
Oh wow, I see exactly what you mean. Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah.
And this was just a random photo snap, right? Just turned around and took it.
Yeah, she turned around and took a few, and it only showed up in one picture.
Yeah, I definitely see this almost like ghoulish, sort of long-haired outline towards the bottom. Yeah, for sure. And like an arm coming down. Although, who knows? You see that stuff in the clouds too, but it is cool. But
I think one of the most odd things that I've never really given much thought was EVPs of animals. I never really gave that a lot of thought.
I don't think anyone really has.
It doesn't seem normal to, really catch an animal on EVP, but that was actually brought up and mentioned also with the Halloween investigation.
And what kind of things are we talking about? Dogs barking or?
Dog and cat.
Okay.
Because the shaman that was with us at the Halloween investigation, she is a full-blood Indian, shaman, and she's really into that, and she definitely knows her shit. But she had brought up, and being Native American, they do believe a lot in animal spirits. That's their whole thing is the whole animal spirits, chakras, totems. They have a knowledge of that. So she had mentioned, once in a while we do get a occasional EVP of a dog and a cat. And it was kind of odd because on the audio, nobody heard this at the time, but when I got back home and listened to that exact clip, I have a Shih Tzu type dog barking, and directly after that, a cat meows. Now, this is in the wine cellar, which outside noise is totally blocked. Okay, nothing gets in, and that was on the recorders. I ended up playing that clip of the dog and the cat for the owner. She was upset over that for a few months, but she would never tell me why. It turns out that both that dog and that cat are two animals that she used to own that did die on the property.
Wow.
And just a few months ago, she wanted me to get some pictures together, taken to make some videos, highlighting the EVPs with, showing the location that was actually caught in. And one of the pictures, I have the apparition of a Shih Tzu dog in the wine cellar sitting underneath the chair that the owner always sits in at the seances.
You know what? I
didn't catch it right away, but I'm just like, that's crazy.
We've got somebody calling in that wants to talk to you. Hey, who's this?
Me.
Did you want to talk to our guests from Clinton County Paranormal Research?
Sure. Why do you guys record all that stuff and then go sit at home and
You know what?
We've got. Isn't there somewhere you can hook up headphones?
Wait, hang on. We got something weird happening. We've got somebody calling in.
What's happening?
the show is replaying itself on delay. Sorry.
Oh yeah, that happened a few 30
yeah.
seconds
All
ago.
right. What was your question?
The question was, instead of going and taking hours of recordings and going and looking through it all, isn't there any way you can hook up some headphones and get a live feed of it? You know what I mean? Maybe then you could talk to them or stuff. I don't know.
You're talking about a way to do the processing live time so you can try to hear them better and interact.
Frequency range,
yeah,
right?
And
that's a good question.
That is entirely possible because the recorders that we use, they actually have what they call a live listen function. So we can be recording and have headphones plugged in listening at the same time. That way, if you do catch an EVP, you physically hear it exactly as it is said, and then you can answer and talk to them right at that moment instead of, waiting to get home.
That's basically what I was asking. Do you do that? Or?
Some digital recorders can do that, and others cannot.
So, when he was like, "Yo, Dustin," you could have turned around and been like, "What?"
Yeah.
See, at the time, I didn't have a recorder that could do that, but now we do have recorders that you can actually talk to them right as the EVP comes in, and you catch it.
Oh,
so I had a really good idea, but I guess not. I guess somebody thought of that first.
Yeah, well, don't rush to the patent office, I guess.
Because I know. I'm just thinking that's how it should be done, so you can
And that is the way we do it now. Once we've found out which recorders actually have that function.
My belief is, I don't know, every time I hear these EVPs, they just sound kind of not like what the person who took them thinks they say.
I'm conflicted on some of them, but certain ones of them sound really clear and pretty creepy.
Like the whispering ones and but the really fast ones where it's like he just said that the grandmother's at the dock. No, he didn't say that. That's not what that said at all. And that happens on TV shows, when you're watching the ghost shows.
Yeah, right.
What the fuck? It doesn't sound like that at all. And then the guys.
I think we heard some.
Actually, the ones you played are probably the best ones I've ever heard.
Yeah, I didn't think they were very bad at all. A couple of them were very clear. Yeah.
And on the program Audacity, on the upper right, once you get the file loaded to normalize it, clean it up, and listen to it, and check for EVPs, you can actually slow that down to, if it's like a fast EVP, it's like, hey, so hi. Because we get a lot of those, just one syllable, hey, hi, hello. but there's a little slide at the top right corner that you can actually slow the audio down and listen to it a little bit slower to really pull out what's being said. And that does help, because some EVPs are like really fast, 1 second, 2 second, it's done. But then other ones are long, full sentences, statements.
Yeah. I'm looking at this place online. It looks pretty creepy. They just let people go in there, and you had to break in.
No, we're actually allowed. They have open tours that you can sign up for, go in, and, investigate the place on your own. It's,
Well,
if you go to McPikeMansion.com, they've got all the info listed, the history. They've got the event calendar listed, so when events are all going on. It's a good time, and it's neat. You pick some wild stuff up.
All right. Well, thanks for calling in.
Yeah, that's all about all I wanted. And talk about like the ghost animals more. That's cool.
All right. Boogie bye. Thank you. So yeah, some innovations there from our callers. Sure, you never thought of that before.
No,
So you were getting on to the ghost animal EVPs. Anything else on that?
Well, we got the dog and the cat, and then that one photo that showed up. It turns out that was actually the apparition of a Shih Tzu dog. It was captured in the wine cellar underneath the chair, and I'll get that posted as soon as I can locate that picture.
Yeah, keep us updated, and we'll keep posting your stuff on our pages and everything.
Definitely.
And any other major highlights from the McPike Mansion investigation, or anything exciting last night?
Last night it's just the spot checks we did on the audio. That phone always does that.
Oh, you know what? I think we might have lost Jason.
Yeah, his phone just died.
Oh,
but yeah, last night, we didn't get to all the audio yet. I still have a lot to pull off of the actual recorders. But last night, during the investigation, we would, if I would hit anything that really stood out, I would stop the recorder, spot check, and play it right at that time. And we did catch a lot of EVPs of the male with the deep voice talking, and the one boy was actually caught a couple times last night talking to us, asking us if we wanted to play, please, and
yeah, we'll have to keep up with that stuff. I mean, because this is like our caller said. I mean, these are some of the better EVPs I've ever heard. It's something that's pretty cool to hear some affirmation of, regardless if it's residual or intelligent. It's pretty cool shit. Before you go, do you have any insight into? I know you mentioned I forget his name, the original McPike, but do you have any insight through your investigation into who might be hanging around or why?
Well, we've got there's actually quite a few that do hang around. You've got Henry, you've got the two kids, which we do not have names, so either one of those kids. Then you've got two females, and I think one's the slaves, and then the guy that designed the house, Paul Lashinger. Once in a while, he is at the location, but not always. There was like 11 different spirits in the house constantly, and it's a very active location.
And these are like apparitions that have been seen, or mostly EVPs, or what's...
Most of it's audio, but we've had some pretty odd things show up in pictures, and a lot on video. They do show themselves from time to time in some pretty odd ways. It's just not normal.
Yeah, very, very interesting shit from Clinton County Paranormal Research. Dustin Gable, we're gonna have to move on, but do you have any exciting investigations coming up?
Well, right now we're going through the audio from last night's, and we caught a lot. We've got a lot of hours of audio yet to go through. That can take up to a week, 2 weeks.
Oh,
easy,
I bet, yeah.
Because we look at every little thing on audio. I don't like to miss anything.
And depending on how much you drink too, I mean, it could take months. For me, it might be a lot longer. But thanks for coming on the show last minute again, and hopefully we'll keep in touch with you. And we had another paranormal team on, and I'm gonna offer to you too. Anytime you guys are cool with it, we'd love to broadcast an investigation live. Come down and visit. So if you ever have anything that would be cool for us to tag along, let us know.
Oh, definitely. Anytime.
All right, man. Thank you very much.
All right. Take it
See you
easy.
later. Okay, there goes Dustin Gable, and Jason May's phone died, I guess, before that. The Clinton County Paranormal Research Group, I guess, or maybe they're just called Clinton County Paranormal Research. They got a Facebook page. They got the YouTube. They got some other shit going on. I will post all their links on the Sunday Evening Overdose Facebook page. We're going to play a little bit of music and come back with some more news and bullshit and probably some asshole callers who are going to start bugging me. All right. Holy fuck, we've already got a caller. Oh my god, we take every call straight to the radio, no screener. Who's this? What do you want?
Wait, you're on the air?
Yeah, we're on the air.
Oh, well, I must have a shit feed. Okay. As I'm a caller, I was trying to play along, and did you post a bunch of stuff to Facebook, but it doesn't show up?
This is a shitty call. I'm done with it. All right. That sucked. So let's go over that again. If you want to call up, this is not the fucking retard, stupid motherfucker. Oh, sorry. Can you kill the phone for a second? My fault. We have a producer, and I just don't use him. And the laptop too. So let's go over. All right, phone is cool again. Leave the laptop down. I'm gonna switch computers so we don't have any more problems. The phone is for intelligent conversation, ladies and gentlemen. It's for things that you might find important, funny, whatever. We don't need to call the Sunday Evening Overdose with useless bullshit, which happens too often. But if you do want to call in, 708-244-8142, I will probably be mean to you, and we'll hang out, we'll have fun. I kind of want to start a segment just called, like, I'm gonna fuck you up, where you just call me up and threaten me. If anybody, 708-244-8142, but, like, if you do it like a pussy, I'm going to hang up on you. Like, if you're going to call up, you just say, you got to start by saying, I'm going to fuck you up. You say all the ways you're going to fuck me up. I'll say all the ways I'm going to fuck you up. And we'll go on from there. We can add that as a segment just for tonight. But in the meantime, I guess I'll get back to some news so we can move towards the end of the evening here. I've got a pile. I already did sharks. I already did aliens. We did ghosts with our guests from Clinton County down in southern Illinois. If you missed that, they have a lot of really cool EVPs. I think I kept calling them EPs, but they're EVPs. Recordings of voices from the beyond. Some of the more convincing ones I've heard. If you missed that, fuck you. All right. In the other pile of my news section, this is an article about a Canadian high school student and her mother taking their objections to abstinence-only education all the way to the Alberta Human Rights Commission, saying that making the teen sit through a Christian-based course about sexual purity violated her rights as a non-believer. And this is basically a story where they're trying to teach, I guess, abstinence only, and for some reason it's been very difficult for this little slut who wants to get fucked at a young age, apparently, which we are not in support of. Are we? Are we? Nothing. I was trying to get my producer to go in on that with me. Last year, when Emily Dawson's public school required her to attend a 2-day abstinence education class delivered by a conservative religious group, she was shocked by what she heard from the speaker. She did a lot of slut-shaming to the women and pointed out the guys as horn dogs. Emily, who is now 18 years old, recounted to the Edmonton Journal her struggles. She said the questions about same-sex relationships from LGBT students were immediately shut down as well. Where the fuck was this? Alberta. It's up there in Canada. Dawson decided to sit in on the abstinence lecture to experience it for herself, and as a single mother, she was personally offended by the messages about families like hers. She told CBC News that the speakers were essentially bashing single parents, saying that their kids are prone to depression, suicide, and juvenile delinquency. All right. That was her mother, by the way. Yeah, I don't know. Seems like a whole bunch of bullshit. People trying to boss each other around. I'm so sick of these fucking stupid-ass stories. Oh, I want you to do this. I don't want to do that, but I can't just go somewhere else. I have to take you to a big court thing and blah, blah, blah. Emily's public school district maintains that the abstinence assembly meets school guidelines. So what? So the mother and daughter brought their complaint to the Human Rights Commission, citing a section of Alberta's Human Rights Act, legislation that was enacted in their province in 2009 that gives parents the right to exempt their children from courses that cover sex, sexual orientation, or religion. This week, the commission agreed to review the complaint. So, let us know what you think about that. I don't know. Kids are not allowed to have sex, I guess, in Canada. Up at this school. We got... Oh, forget the OK Glass. Mind Reader, RDR, is a Google Glass app you can control with your thoughts. All right, so I got to pull this up. You have to give me 1 second. We had to switch computers and we had this all ready to go. But this is a new Google Glass app. You've been hearing about this, and a lot of people are a little bit nervous as to the implications of some of this new technology. You know, such as computers that can read your mind, I guess. And this is obviously a thing that's going to become more and more relevant as we go forward. It's going to be the same thing. I mean, it's getting a little bit more obvious, I guess, when this stuff pops up. But, like, you know, at a certain point, you know, a lot of the naysayers from technology of the past turned out to be right in certain ways, you know, and if we could be more responsible as consumers, or if we had a less malicious ruling class, we might get to use some of these things to our advantage. But, you know, to most people, television is really not a tool. It's probably a detractor for most people. It does a lot more harm than it does good. And, you know, we can all remember thinking our grandma was a fucking retard for not wanting us to watch TV when we were kids. But she turned out to be right. You know, things like that. So as we go forward, you know, maybe we can learn to do this stuff responsibly. But, you know, there's no guarantees looking at our track record. If we could bring the laptop.
Technology by putting the power of your smartphone right in front of your eye. The problem, though, is that you still have to use your voice or touch interfaces in order to control it. However, one company in the heart of Tech City here in London is trying to move one step further by leveraging the power of your mind in order to control this interface. London-based user experience company Displace has taken Google Glass, paired it with an EEG headset which monitors brain activity, and created an app called Mind Reader, which allows you to take pictures and share them on Facebook or Twitter without opening your mouth or pressing a button. Google Glass has just gone on sale in the UK, so why did the company feel as if it was necessary to try and improve it? Chloe Curtin, creative director at Displace, explains.
One of the issues that we saw was that as you're swiping more and more, and if you're using it quite a lot, your elbow starts to get tired and you end up kind of supporting it with your hand like this. And then because the screen is kind of over here, if you're really concentrating, you end up kind of doing this really strange action.
And so the company decided to investigate just what might be possible, combining the power...
What she's describing, by the way, in that video is kind of leaning on your elbow. And that's the complaint, is just get a little bit too much strain from that.
And the power of your mind. I asked Chloe just how it works.
So you put the EEG machine on your head, and the readings that we're using at the moment are the basic brain waves. And what we're able to do is take a measure of concentration or relaxation. And what we do is, using Bluetooth, is send those as signals to the Google Glass. And then those are put onto a scale, basically, between concentrating and relaxing. And we take the top end of that scale, so concentrating, as a confirm, so take a picture or send to Twitter. And the bottom end of the scale is don't take a picture, or discard my picture, or don't send to Twitter.
But Candace...
Yeah, that's how it starts. And it ends with, you know, Jason Bourne type of shit going on. What is that one? Is that the right one? Where they predict that he's going to murder somebody? Whatever pre-crime shit.
Minority Report. It was a book by Philip K. Dick.
Yeah. Philip K. Dick, right, exactly. Yeah. Not that I knew that, but I've heard the name plenty of times. Yeah. So that's, I guess, you know, the caution of all this shit is you move closer and closer to merging our minds with computers. Who's in control of the development of all this and how it's going to be implemented and how it's going to be used and blah, blah, blah. We've seen it all before. I don't know if you realize this, but your TV is fucking retarded and bad for you, right? You know, it could be good if it was used responsibly and if it wasn't, if it didn't have such a history, you know, of regulating things like flicker rates in the way that would make you most susceptible to suggestion and things, you know, that were funded by large, you know, advertisers and huge lobbies to, you know, fund the research of it to make it as insidious as it could possibly be. If it was actually just a little entertainment box, that might be fine. But television, cell phones, you know, if they weren't using your cell phones to fucking track your every move, yeah, it would be a great fucking tool, wouldn't it? So, there you go. The Google Glass is getting more and more powerful as we go. And you heard some people with some, I don't know what, Northern European accents of some kind talking about it. Holy fuck. Lightning has struck twice in Colorado, according to ABC News. ABC News says a lightning strike left 1 dead and 3 others injured Saturday at Colorado's Rocky Mountain National Park. Just 1 day after another strike left a woman dead and 7 other people injured, a park spokeswoman said. Fuck, I'm doing some really bad inflection on these fucking articles. Wait, I got another call. This is mysterious. We're on the... I almost said the country evening overdose. Fuck it, you're on the country evening overdose. What's going on? Who is this?
This is Tony.
All right, Tony, where are you calling from?
Calling from Cicero.
What's up, man? What do you want to talk about?
I was told I was supposed to fuck you up.
Yeah, all right, wait, you're supposed to say that at first, though. You already fucked it up. So I've already been nice to you. Now we're going to have to start all over. Hang on.
Want me to call you right back?
No, we'll just start over. Hey, you're on the Sunday evening overdose. Who is this? What's going on?
This is a fucking overdose. I'm going to fuck you up, dude.
Oh, yeah?
Oh. What?
Try it. Why don't you fucking come down here? You know where I'm at.
Where you at?
You know where I'm at.
Oh, I know.
I'm always in the same fucking place. Every Sunday evening at 9 p.m., the Sunday Evening Overdose broadcast from beautiful Crystal Recorders here in Lombard, Illinois. That's right.
Lombard, Illinois.
That's where I'm at, motherfucker. What do you want to do?
I'm going to fucking fuck you in the ass, motherfucker. I'm going to bust all in your asshole, you fucking faggot. Fuck yeah. I'm talking like a
Now that's radio.
Why don't you fucking try it all?
There's me that just stumbled upon this bullshit show. I feel like killing myself, motherfucker.
Fuck you. All right, come on down here. Me and my friends are going to hold you down. We're going to electrocute your fucking dick with a car battery and rape you with a red-hot fire poker in your eye. Okay, motherfucker?
Rape you with your fucking cock and bring your fucking prison life, motherfucker. That's what I'm going to do.
All you want to do is have sex with me so far.
I'm going to fuck your fucking face to your jaw breaks off. That's what I'm going to do. Yeah.
You're not going to do shit. You're a fucking cock-sucking bitch. That's what you are.
Yeah.
You little bitch. You know where I'm at. You know where I'm at, motherfucker. Come get some. That's how it's done. That's a segment we call I'm Gonna Fuck You Up here on the Sunday Evening Overdose. Thank you to Tony and Cicero for the call. Lightning has struck in Colorado's Rocky Mountain National Park, just one day after another strike left a woman dead and 7 other people injured. The incident happened at about 3:30 p.m. in the Rainbow Curve area along the park's heavily traveled Trail Ridge Road, according to Rocky Mountain National Park spokeswoman Kyle Patterson. When park rangers arrived, they found 4 injured people. They were taken to Estes Park Medical Center by ambulance, but Gregory Cardwell, 52, from Scottsbluff, Nebraska, died of his injuries, Patterson said. Twice in the same fucking day, Lightning? Are you kidding me? Man, lightning, sharks, this is getting ridiculous. Where's a person to go? You know what, another thing about sharks that I was thinking about, you know, just because you live next to the ocean, you know, I live next to the railroad tracks, for instance. I don't go down, I mean, I've hung out near the railroad tracks, but I don't fucking run up and down the middle of them with my eyes closed and earplugs in and just hope that a train doesn't happen to come by. Because honestly, the trains don't run very often by my house, and I could probably fucking do that. Just like you could probably fucking swim in the ocean. But what, is it really fucking worth it? Honestly, you shark idiots, apologists, blame the humans, huh? Mm-hmm. Europe took center stage this week as Germany advanced to Sunday's finals in the World Cup. And that country's sassy chancellor, Angela Merkel, asked the CIA chief of station to get the fuck out of Berlin. That's right. Angela Merkel. She's a sassy chancellor. This is from the New York Post. Another fine investigative organization. 6 months from now, those 2 stories may be mere footnotes, but other events on the continent pose lasting repercussions to our economy and the final markets. But that's kind of cool. She told the CIA chief of station to get out of Berlin. But he's like the only guy in the CIA that doesn't fucking matter, you know. Oh, wow, you told the guy that you knew was in the CIA to get out of there? That's really going to have a big effect. All the other 18 fucking people that you have no idea who they are still there. All you did was probably get the American liability out of there so they can just kill people easier. That's probably part of it. While Europe was distracted by soccer, the U.S. Justice Department was exacting a near $9 billion fine on France's largest bank, BNP Paribas. What's fucking words, man? That amounts to 1/10 of the bank's market value. So, yeah, this is your old story of you wait for the huge media, you know, distraction. And I guess they pleaded guilty. BNP Paribas. I'm really fucking horrible at Paribas. Paribas. BNP, this is the bank, whatever, pleaded guilty to a federal charge of flouting... What? Huh? What are you talking to me? Sorry. Fuck you guys. Pleaded guilty to a federal charge of flouting U.S. sanctions on countries we blacklisted. Justice is determined to impose a huge penalty on the French, so much so that President Francois Hollande cornered President Obama at a Paris restaurant last month to seek relief. And President Obama was like, I don't actually do shit. I'm a fucking reptile. Get away from me. He didn't get it, and the French are mad. The Germans, whose Deutsche Bank is next in the justice's crosshairs, aren't so happy either. This isn't to say that BNP wasn't morally challenged in its dealings with rogue nations as it laundered dollars through bank transfers in New York. All right, there you go. There's that. I'm just going to read this shit till I get bored of it. Again, the number is 708-244-8142. You can call up the Sunday Evening Overdose. Fuck with us. Comment on any of the things that have been going on here tonight. From ABC News, we had a guy who was facing the amputation of his lower left leg. Amputation of his lower left leg. I don't use this thing enough. While facing the impending amputation of his lower left leg, Joe Pleban decided to celebrate rather than mourn his final few weeks with his limbs intact. After setting the date for the amputation, Pleban and his girlfriend spent the next few weeks checking off items from his bucket list, such as skydiving, scuba diving, and even getting a permanent tattoo. The tattoo showed a dotted line with the instructions, "Please cut here." Oh, you're hilarious. The 23-year-old had decided on amputation after suffering from years from a rare ankle disease that resulted in benign tumors growing in his ankle. Surgery and radiation had temporarily stopped the tumors, but given him arthritis, which made it difficult to walk without crutches or a cane. Boo-hoo. Well, you cut your leg off? Fucking jerk off. We knew it was the logical decision, Pleban said, of his choice to have an amputation. I'd be way more active on a prosthetic. It's kind of a weird story. I was having some problems with my leg, so I just fucking said, fuck it. I'm gonna cut my losses and just get rid of it and move on. I'll probably just be able to move around a little better. Well, I guess, more power to him. I would never be able to do that. I would be walking around. I'm such a wimp with that shit. I would be walking around with like a completely gangrene leg with, just it's dragging behind me and hasn't been even used in years. And I'm just like, part of me is just, I have like a wheel hooked up to one side of me and my black, disgusting gangrene leg that's full of just fucking maggots and like there's gum and Band-Aids, paper clips stuck to it and shit. That would be me before I would ever even consider getting my leg cut off on purpose. Huh. That's that cell phone noise. That's, I don't know. Is that coming through on the laptop? Probably. Huh? No. Fucking cell phone noise, man. Everybody hates the cell phone noise. Has anybody ever sampled that? I wonder if we could find that out. If you guys look on the internet, has anybody ever sampled the cell phone noise in a beat? Has it been done? Let's find out. We're going to find that out. Okay. Nebraska. This is from foxnews.com, everyone's favorite website. I know I go there every morning to just fucking want to puke out of my belly button into my eye. Nebraska governor and an Illinois senator say the White House sending illegal immigrants. Oh, I hate fucking headlines. Nebraska Gov, Illinois senator say White House sending illegal immigrant children to their states without notice. Elected officials in 2 states far from the U.S.-Mexico border have claimed that the Obama administration has resettled hundreds of unaccompanied illegal immigrant children without adequate notice and has refused to detail the exact locations where the children are being kept. I like this, though, because, it's from Fox News, so it's the Obama administration that has done this. When really, I mean, well, I shouldn't. Maybe somebody in there did, but it's a big stupid government thing. It doesn't matter who the fuck is in there. Obama's stupid motherfucking ass or whoever else comes next. Retards. Fox News has learned that 748 unaccompanied minors have been transferred from areas near the border to the Chicago area. Of the original group of 748, 319 have been placed with family members or sponsors while they await an immigration hearing. The other 429 have been placed in facilities run by the Heartland Alliance, a nonprofit organization that receives grants from the Department of Health and Human Services. So this is the part of the same story. I'm surprised this doesn't have like a gate name yet. The fucking Mexican Child Gate. That's the name of it. We just named it. Mexican Child Gate, which has been sweeping the nation. Stories of busloads of unaccompanied minors. Many of them actually not Mexican, I guess South American and beyond to the south. Many unaccompanied on buses showing up and either being turned away or, taken in and somehow accommodated and presumably eventually placed in, I guess, foster care or whatever. We know what a success that is. Senator Mark Kirk, Republican, told Fox News Friday that he did not know the exact locations of the facilities where the children were being kept and stated his belief that the White House did not want the children's living conditions to be made public. My worry is the administration doesn't want people to know that the condition of these places the condition of these places are how these kids are being treated in detention, Kirk said. That's probably true. Kids can sometimes be pretty cruel to each other. They don't want those stories to get out, and they don't want us to know what's going on in these detention facilities. Not to mention the apparent propensity for people who work with kids, and especially a lot of times in these like facilities, or maybe they're, you know, government departments that have to do with placement services or protection services. They have an amazing track record for being abusive and fucked up. Always got to question someone twice who wants to work with children all day, unfortunately. I can't explain the incompetence of the Obama administration, Kirk said later. This is a tremendous self-inflicted political wound. This narrative. This is Obama's Katrina. Ooh, I hate politicians. Every single fucking one of them is a fucking cock-sucking piece of shit. Every fucking one of them. I can't fucking do this anymore. Nebraska Governor Dave Heineman told the Wall Street Journal Saturday that 200 children were sent to his state without warning, and added that federal officials had refused to give him their names and locations. I don't know, man. Maybe people want to call in about this, because I could probably go back and forth all day. My issue with shit like this is Mexico sucks. Everyone from Mexico wants to come to the United States. It's at this point part of a lot of areas in Mexican culture that, you know, most of the young men are you know, expected to come here and make some kind of amount of money and bring it back and whatever the case is. But the point is, nobody's doing anything to fix Mexico. And people are spreading here, whether or not they're good people, and whether, I mean, yeah, surely there's some people who are definitely racist, on the side of, like, you know, stopping immigration. But there's a lot of fucking intelligent people who understand you just can't endlessly, you know, give things away. There's no such thing as free. And, you know, it's not a matter of compassion or who you would like or not like to help. It's, you know, I could go back and forth all day. I generally see the issue as pretty tragic, because it really, you could argue about, like, what's right to do with the immigrants now, but are we doing anything to really fucking stop the problem or even get to understanding the heart of it? Probably not so much. You know, why is it so? Why are so many people fleeing their own countries? What is the problem? What do we need to do? These places are fucking, some of them are dictatorial hellholes, you know, and some of them are, well, probably all of them are, and we're getting there too, but, you know, some of them are just, you know, people who are just poor, and that's their part of their culture. We don't have anything. We need to fucking go north and work during this season, or we need to do whatever. I don't know. Issue is very complicated. All I know is that when you're talking about taking on shitloads of children, it gets to be expensive. All this stuff costs money. But we're also talking about a government that, like, if we're going to cut the fat, there's probably 1,000 other places we could cut the fat that, you know, that nobody would have a problem with. I mean, our government is completely fucking... That's these stories, you can't even argue, you can't even talk about these fucking stories, because you have to come from a perspective as though there's anything fucking legitimate going on in our government whatsoever. So I don't even know how to fucking talk about this, because I can't pretend any of this has a fucking chance of making sense at the end of the day. Okay. We've got another article from ABC News. Dad and 2 kids survive avalanche in corridor of death. A quick-thinking father kept a family trip from turning tragic, saving himself and his 2 children from being swept away in an avalanche. The 3 family members were climbing Western Europe's highest peak on Mont Blanc in France, an area known as the Corridor of Death. an avalanche started to pull 11-year-old Shannon Sweeney and her 9-year-old brother PJ Sweeney down the mountain. And here's another thing. Why are we on mountains? You know, I mean, I understand this shit is fun. I just like, what are people doing? I live in like the middle of, you know, the Chicago metropolitan area, right outside of Chicago. Things are flat, safe. There's no, you can run around in the woods. Nothing's going to bite you or get, I mean, it's like, I'm amazed that everyone in the world doesn't live somewhere where there's like nothing that can happen to you, because I don't know what I would do. I can't go in the fucking ocean. I can't live on a mountain. I can't do any of this shit. A flood zone? Holy shit. What is going on all over the world with you people? An avalanche started to pull 11-year-old Shannon Sweeney and her 9-year-old brother PJ Sweeney down the mountain. The pair were tethered to their dad, Paul Sweeney, who anchored them before falling himself. This has got to be a misprint. No, this is not a misprint. He heard his son scream and then his daughter scream, and then all I could think of was to bury my ice axe, and I have to create a good anchor. I felt like an antelope being ripped down by a lion being ripped down by the waist. This is fucking shitty quotes all over the news. I wonder how many of these are like, you know, mistakes when they're being typed up or edited, and how many fucking are just people that can't speak anymore because everyone has forgotten how to converse. So there's that. Another thing that I'm quite appalled by. So we've done a lot tonight. Where are we at? What time is it? Oh, it's 11:25 only? Holy Christ. I'm probably going to take another quick break. We'll come back for another short segment and get out of here for the night. I don't know. If you guys have anything you want to call in, I know I had a couple of emails. I had an email about Paula Poundstone, actually. That was kind of an interesting story. I'm going to see during the break if we can get, you know, the guy that was emailing me about that to come on. I guess Paula Poundstone was involved in some shenanigans years back and kind of got out of it in an interesting way that somebody wanted to talk about. We could talk about more aliens, more whatever you guys want. 708-244-8142 when we come back. 708-244-8142. This is the Sunday evening overdose every Sunday night, 9 p.m. And we'll be back in a couple of minutes here. And we're back at the Sunday evening overdose. Thank you for sticking with us. We are approaching the midnight hour. You have listened to Themselves. This is about the city too. For those of you that follow super out there, way underground hip hop. Themselves. All right. I had an email earlier today that dealt with a little lady by the name of Paula Poundstone. For those of you who don't know, she's a comedian, I guess. I really actually kind of liked her on the cartoon Home Movies, but as for her actual creative work, not really my thing. But I had an email from a listener who told me to check out, and we're just going to do this live on the air, whatever we are. Told me to check out the fact that she had some kind of child molestation case at some point, and I guess, according to the listener, pled guilty on it on something like September 12th, 2001, I want to say. Let me see if I can find this. And if anybody wants to call in about this, she is a star of a really terrible fucking shitty thing on NPR. I don't remember the fucking name of the show. Is it Wait, Don't Tell Me? Does anyone know? That's a thing they do on that show, or the name of the show. I don't know, but big piece of shit that show is. And actually, we should probably play some clips from that. Paula Poundstone's plea deal ends child abuse case. September 13th, 2001. As you might recall, a little business went down that week. A couple days before that. Entertainer Paula Poundstone, an adoptive and foster parent who has been what did I just say? What did I just fucking say? Entertainer Paula Poundstone, an adoptive and foster parent who has been a fixture on the stand-up comedy scene for 20 years, pleaded no contest Wednesday to one count of felony child abuse and a misdemeanor charge of inflicting injury upon a child. I thought it was a sexual thing. Maybe not. As part of a plea agreement with Los Angeles County prosecutors, Poundstone is expected to be placed on probation for 5 years, but will not go to jail. So this is something that, she took a cue from big corporations. Do your dirty work, in the shadow of some larger media event, such as 9/11. So let's see. She changed. Oh, this is even better. She changed her earlier plea of not guilty, I think on September 12th. In exchange, prosecutors dropped three counts of committing lewd acts against a child. So this might have been a sexual thing, and added the misdemeanor count. Had Poundstone been convicted of the original charges, she could have received 13 years and 4 months in state prison, the authorities said. She was arrested in June for alleged lewd acts and child abuse involving her 3 adoptive and 2 foster children. In court documents, prosecutors alleged that she committed a lewd act upon a girl under 14 and that she endangered the 4 other children, 2 girls and 2 boys. The crimes were committed between May 19th and June 6th, they alleged. Defense lawyer Stephen Cron acknowledged that Poundstone had a drinking problem and admitted Wednesday that she drove once with the children under influence of alcohol, but maintained that she never molested any of the children. But then she pled guilty, so there you go. She probably still denies it. I don't know. But anyone, if you didn't do it, you'd stick it out. You're not gonna fucking take that rap. Child abuse. Poundstone said she could not comment on the case after her sentencing, scheduled for October 10th. The comedian's adoptive and foster children, ages 2 to 12, were placed in protective custody after the arrest. She will not be allowed to serve as a foster parent anymore. But that's what I was saying before the break. Foster, DCFS, a lot of these things. This is just fucking full of child abusers all over the place. So there you go. I know a lot of you out there listen to that shitty fucking NPR radio. Let me see if I can pull any of that up. But there you go. You're listening to a child molester, you perverts. Let's see here. This is the kind of bullshit child molesters do on the radio. Pull up the laptop.
We're always constantly looking on the website.
Wait, sorry. Fucking...
his tweets. Secretary of State says that unlike his predecessor, he will tweet personally. One problem, though, what? It has to do with how he's going to sign his tweets.
SS, Secretary of State.
No.
JK, John.
Right. All of his official tweets will end JK. Now, JK, that's John Kerry's initials, but it's also the common abbreviation for just kidding, which by coincidence was the official slogan of his 2004 presidential campaign. So no matter what he's saying, it'll seem like he's ending with, just kidding. Expect tweets like, North Korea has just launched a nuclear weapon. Oh no, JK.
You stupid fucking faggots. Hang on. No offense to faggots. Hold on. We got a caller.
No, you're not supposed to know this.
Oh, Jesus. That was, I could already tell that was just going to go wrong, and I just let that call go. So, yeah, you stupid. NPR is so terrible. I'm going to play a little bit more. It's Paula Poundstone, the child molester, on Wait, Don't Tell Me. Oh, wait, we've got a call. Hang on. Straight to the air. No screening. You're on the Sunday Evening Overdose.
Hey, it's me. It's Strix.
Okay.
My phone is garbage. So I had a call from. Hey, check this out. Did you hear about it had to be Ireland? Did you hear about like thousands of fucking bodies found in a septic tank by some government-run fucking youth wellness school or something? I'm not sure how they do it over there, but did you hear about that?
No, I haven't. Perhaps
we're
before
talking 3 days ago, breaking news. Just thousands of bodies of babies and children, and it turned out that it had to do with chemical tests, and I'm sure they were getting fucked as well. You know how they roll. So that's all. Thank you. Goodbye.
How do I look this up? Oh, I hate this show. I hate our callers. I have no way to fucking confirm or deny any of that. Hey, send that to my email or whatever you want to do. Let me get some kind of confirmation on whatever the fuck you're talking about, which I'm sure is probably true. There was a case in Florida. They unearthed a bunch of bodies. I mean, it's happened throughout history. Like, people take power, in a lot of different societies around the world, all throughout history. One of the main things that happens is they start torturing and killing kids for some reason. And it's just a recurring fucking unfortunate phenomenon in history. And I don't know why. A lot of people have their fucking theories. Are we okay in there?
Hang
on. Paula Poundstone. Wait, don't tell me. Let's listen to this piece of shit. This fucking interview. But yeah, there we go.
Nobody's getting out of here until I say this, Paul.
Yeah, this is what kind of fans they have. They just upload clips that make no fucking sense of a bunch of tittering lunatics. Ugh, Paula Poundstone, fucking shoulder pads. What year is this? This is now. This is unbelievable. This is 2014. Oh my god. You look like fucking Gallagher in David Byrne's clothes. Fucking weird molesting idiot. Holy shit. Paula Poundstone. She's a big fucking puffy hair lady in a giant shoulder padded suit. This is the worst clip I've ever seen. MS Wendy SL on YouTube, you fucking idiot. Holy shit. A bunch of clips of people laughing like they're idiots on Wait, Don't Tell Me, which they are. Anyways, you can check that out for yourself. I can't seem to find. They have all their shit protected. Let's see if we got anything else.
Robin Hitchcock, David Bowie, or Lou Reed, who would be the better doubles partner in tennis?
Now.
Yes.
In this one, Paula Poundstone is dressed sort of like the Joker, I guess. In a long, stripy suit. I don't know what's with people. They just stop at a certain year or whatever and think that it's just okay to be like that forever. And no one's going to fucking think it's strange or hate the way that they look intensely.
Okay. I mean, I think during the 70s and 80s, I'd have given it to David, but I think possibly more recently, Lou. I don't know.
All right.
Why, what happened?
Well,
I mean, you're indicating that David has had a decrease in his tennis skill.
no, it's more not. I mean, David has been unwell for the last few years, whereas Lou has been vigorously working out since the mid-'80s and is now, that when they started, the DC comics changed in the mid-'60s and they started drawn by these guys who they kind of...
Who the fuck listens to this? This is NPR. You fucking idiots. I know everyone listens to NPR and you all think you're very fucking smart and gentle and compassionate and this is just shitty entertainment. It doesn't matter. You don't have to like being mean. You don't have to like being abrasive. But these people aren't funny. They're not clever. This is what this fucking show is made of. Here's another clip from Wait, Don't Tell Me.
Time for you to answer some questions. Of course, the questions are all about this week's theme, the media. Paula, a hit reality game show in
a really
Turkey gives
shiny-headed
contestants
bald
points
guy with really
for getting
pointy
somebody
ears.
to do what?
For getting people to, I don't know. Can you give me a hint?
Sure, it's like a TV version of having a Jehovah's Witness knock on your door.
TV, for converting people?
Yes, exactly right. It's like an old joke. Like, so on this Turkish game show, penitents compete. A priest, a rabbi.
All right, whatever. This show sucks. Child molesters. Wait, Don't Tell Me. Full of fucking child molesters. That's what you're watching, listening, whatever. That's your choice. If you do want to email us a tip, such as our listener, that was from Brian, out in Chicago. Thanks for that. If you want to email us a tip about somebody that's gotten away with something, or, not that someone should be eternally shamed for every act, but, child abuse, and it's one of those things we all kind of get together on. Let us know at the Sunday, or just Sunday Evening Overdose at gmail.com. You can send us whatever kind of shit you want us to talk about. We got another call. This is probably about killing kids again. Hang on. You're on the Sunday Evening Overdose.
Hello?
Yeah, how many times are you going to call the show today?
Oh, it's in the sections. It's in the sections. The message section. I sent you the link to that article about those weird children that got.
What, the message section on Ustream?
Yeah, absolutely. It's right there. That's the link. I put a link in there. All right, bye.
Okay, thank you for that. That's better. See, now that's what we like out of our listeners. Fucking do some work for us. Somebody, can somebody grab the link off the Ustream social stream shit and send it to me in here on my Facebook or something so I can see that? You won't be able to get it on your phone, I don't think. Brian's got it, sorry. So we're gonna check that out. Apparently some bodies found in Ireland, I think. Yeah, that's again a really recurring thing, especially where, supposedly they're supposed to be, looking after and helping kids, and usually when it has to do with religion or government is when you get the most. I was referencing when you get the most murder. I should finish that. I was referencing this story. This is back from January 28th. 55 bodies exhumed at a reform school site in Florida. Researchers say they have exhumed the remains of 55 people at Florida's Dozier school for boys, a notorious reform school that closed in 2011. The total found by University of South Florida researchers represents 24 more bodies than official records say should be there. So there you go. There's 24 unexplained bodies at a reform school. This shit is all over the place. That's just one I could remember off the top of my head. They also found remains under a road, under a tree, spread through the surrounding forest. We could sit here and pretend, we don't know what happened. But really, This shit happens too often. For years, the school has inspired stories of horror and sadness told by the men who were sent there as children, and by relatives who sometimes never saw their son or brother alive after they arrived there. So there's all kinds of places like this, from mental institutions to reform schools to orphanages to whatever, man. I mean, these stories are all the fuck over the place. This is a sickness that runs very, very deep in our society and a lot of others. For years, the school... you read that part. Around 300 men have spoken out about their experiences at the reform school in the small panhandle town of Mariana in the 1950s and 1960s. They said they were certain that some of their schoolmates had died as a result of the treatment they received. NPR's Greg Allen gave us some background on the institution last year. He said they're called the White House Boys. Yeah, he would probably know. A group of men, many now in their 60s and 70s, who were sent to the Dozier School when they were children. They take the name from a small white building on the school grounds where boys were beaten. Jerry Cooper was sent to the school in 1961. He says guards beat the boys using a leather strap. I mean, it's easy to, a lot of people know stuff like this used to happen more. It was still adults beating kids with weapons. It doesn't matter really when it was. These were not spankings. They were beatings, brutal beatings. And if you think shit's any different now, there might be a little more exposure and a little more culpability in a lot of ways, but the tendencies are no doubt still there from adults that are in power over children. A recent examination of the site, USF researchers used ground-penetrating radar to locate the bodies over the course of 3 months. Locating 55 burials is a significant finding, which opens up a whole new set of questions for our team. And who knows how many more there are. We got another call. You're on the Sunday Evening Overdose.
Hey. So Ustream doesn't allow you to post URLs, so I posted it to your Facebook via Christina's something. So there's the article right there. It's cool. Goodbye. Thank you.
Okay, thanks. All right. Well, this is coming from Infowars.com, which is... I haven't read any Infowars stuff ever before. Never heard of them. Hang on a second. Shit. Let me pull this back up. Okay. Almost 800 babies and children were burned in a mass grave in Ireland near a home for unmarried mothers run by nuns. This was, again, from Infowars.com. All right. According to new research Wednesday, which throws more light on the Irish Catholic Church's troubled past, death records suggest 796 children from newborns to 8 years old were deposited in a grave near a Catholic-run home for unmarried mothers during the 35 years it was operated from 1925 to 1961. Historian Catherine Corliss, who made the discovery, says her study of death records for the St. Mary's home in Tuam in County Galway... Fuck, I gotta get better at saying things. Suggests that a former septic tank near the home was a mass grave. Yeah, we're gonna read more about that. Apparently we're not. Oh my god. These links are not working. But again, this is just another case. How many fucking details do we really want on this shit? Just good to document this stuff again when it happens. So there you go. That's the Irish Catholic Church's troubled past. That's how this article, Heart Attack, refers to it. I'm going to go back to my email. Let's see what else people have sent me during the show here. Looks like Rudy Giuliani, for some reason, somebody wants me to know that Rudy Giuliani wrote a book called Leadership. His management and decision-making skills have proven to be outstanding. This shit is full of so much bullshit. And outstanding through his years as U.S. District Attorney and his 2 terms as Mayor of New York City. And on September 11th, 2001, Giuliani emerged as America's steady hand. Holy fuck. Who's gonna buy this piece of shit? Honestly, a lot of people aren't they? And they're gonna read it and they're gonna talk about it. Because this fucking dumb actor shill took advantage of the thing that supposedly everyone's so goddamn sensitive about. If there was a, shit, you know what there is? I was about to say if there was a musician that took advantage of 9/11 like that. Oh, fuck, I guess people will fall for anything. What am I talking about? Who cares anymore? Yeah, buy Rudolph Giuliani's fucking book about what not a cocksucker he is and how he's done so much good for the citizens of New York and he's not just a figurehead fucking average douchebag actor politician. Go ahead and buy that. Thanks for sending that in, Artie. Let's see. We got another... Somebody sent in a New York Times article. 10-year term on graft charges for Ray Nagin, former mayor of New Orleans. Ray Nagin, the former mayor, was sentenced Wednesday to 10 years in prison. Holy fuck, I didn't know about that. I always knew that guy was up to no good. He was sentenced to 10 years in prison on corruption charges. This better not be a fake article. No, this is NewYorkTimes.com. Alright, so on corruption charges. This is a remarkable fall from grace for a man who came to office pledging to root out cronyism. But that's what they do. The sentence by Judge Helen Berrigan of Federal District Court for the Eastern District of Louisiana was less than the recommended range, around 15 to 20 years. Judge Berrigan quickly dispensed with the many technicalities of federal sentencing guidelines. She balanced the mayor's ill-gotten gains against the profits of other defendants in the schemes, reprimanded him for letting the city down after Hurricane Katrina, and noted approvingly that he remained a loyal husband of 32 years. What the fuck does that have to do with it? Holy fuck. Our country is so insane. You know, part of the sickness of this whole thing is, you know, people just acting like they're important. Going back to Rudy Giuliani or Ray Nagin or whatever. You know, these guys are supposed to be representatives and they're having these big fucking, they're basically having the careers of like movie stars or whatever, you know, and everyone all the way to this judge. You know, this judge thinks it matters that she fucking disapproves or, you know, of how he did this and approves of him remaining a loyal husband. That whole system just makes me disgustingly sick. I can't fucking deal with it anymore. She said that she would recommend that the Federal Bureau of Prisons incarcerate Mr. Nagin at a prison at Oakdale, Louisiana, so he could be close to his family. You know, how is this still being justified in the media? You know, I mean, if you're somewhat high profile or wealthy, I mean, even if you are getting put in some kind of locked down jail situation, you're still being treated better than the average person. How is this still being justified? The seriousness of Mr. Nagin's offenses can hardly be overstated, the judge said of a jury's decision in February to convict Mr. Nagin on 20 of 21 counts, mostly related to kickbacks from contractors looking for city work. That's what the fucking mayor's job is. The other thing that things like this, you know, as a society, we build people up through a system that we know is corrupt, and then we completely tear them down as though we didn't fucking know what they were there to do. I mean, this is the game. This was what the guy was here to do. And that's how it has been for years. Mr. Nagin was a Democrat. Not that it's right. I'm just saying this is a sick fucking cycle that we're in. It's ridiculous. Mr. Nagin was a Democrat who was mayor from 2002 to 2010. Oh, blah, 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 blah. Whatever. Ray Nagin's in fucking jail. Good for him. I hope he enjoys it. Fucking elitist piece of shit. Where are we going? Somebody else. Let's see. My old pal Jim sent in Wait, that's not the right one. Something about, where'd it go? Something about Rahm Emanuel. Let me chase this down. What is this? I'm just doing this live. We got a commercial because this is what just playing it straight off YouTube.
You never want a serious crisis to go to waste. And what I mean by that, it's an opportunity to do things that you think you could not do before. I think America as a whole in 1973 and 1974, not just my view, but obviously the administration, missed the opportunity to deal with the energy crisis that was before us. For a long time, our entire energy policy came down to cheap oil. This is an opportunity. What used to be long-term problems, be they in the healthcare area, energy area, education area, fiscal area, tax area, regulatory reform area, things that we had postponed for too long that were long-term are now immediate and must be dealt with. And this crisis provides the opportunity for us, as I would say, the opportunity to do things that you could not do before.
Right. Fuck, I forget what the hell he was talking about there, but that's a clip. You can never let a serious crisis go to waste. That's the way these people think. And that just illustrates it perfectly. Our politicians have gotten to a level where they're so sociopathic that they're so far removed from average human interaction or society that they've forgotten how to even pretend. And this guy's, openly admitting you don't want a serious crisis to go to waste, revealing the way of thinking. He's making it obvious we're not here to address situations as they come up and help. We're here to implement an agenda, and we'll use a crisis to further our agenda. So, I mean, that's just a basic fucking thing right there. Thanks for sending that in. That's a good point to make. It's speaks volumes on the psychology of this elite class that seeks to control our lives, be they Democrat, Republican, or whatever bullshit you want to think up. I think that's all from the email that people have sent in. A thing that I like to do before we go is I like to visit the NBC News YouTube, and I swear to God, this is never planned. Could be good, could be bad. Who knows what's on the NBC News YouTube? This is one of the major distributors of information to the world. Not only this country, but, many other impoverished countries that are force-fed American media because they can't produce their own. Let's see what's going on NBC News' front page. Who could be informing the entire world of anything they chose to. Let's check this out. From cities to suburbs, 1965 flashback. This is important. Here we go.
As of this year, more Americans live in suburbs than anywhere.
I'm just going to call attention to this too. This is a great example of the way that our media works. Listen to the outdated piece of shit, horrible, stupid techno song here. Nobody in the world listens to anything like this. Anywhere. There's not one person that would ever listen to this.
As of this year, more Americans live in suburbs than anywhere else. Westlake Village, 25 minutes on the freeway from downtown Detroit, is about average. Its advertisements say, the moment you turn into beautiful Westlake Village, you can expect a new world of exciting living.
This is a flashback to 1965 on NBC. This is just an advertisement for the suburbs. It looks like I thought there'd be something more to make fun of there.
Shelter, which is built inside the parking lot.
This is the main video.
The whole facility.
This is the main video on NBC's news page on YouTube. Tel Aviv's parking garage bomb shelter.
The shelter is built from 4 levels, and it can accommodate approximately 5,000 to 6,000 people.
what kind of threat can this shelter prevent?
What's unique about this shelter is that it has its own air filter system. It is built against chemical threats as well as conventional missiles. For a threat that we're dealing with right now, the parking lot is also enough. You can use the bottom 2 levels.
Well, fuck, NBC News. You actually had something kind of interesting as your top video. So, in Tel Aviv, shit is so fucked up that the parking garage has a giant bomb shelter with air filters that can protect people from poison attacks and shit. I guess that would be something more to talk about if I knew more about that. But regrettably, I don't. NBC News' front page is full of flashback videos. I guess there is nothing going on in 2014. We've got the Tel Aviv parking garage video at the top. And then we've got, I don't know, here's what my screen has. So I pull it up. It's got 5 flashback videos, the Tel Aviv parking garage video, and then this.
Well, you probably heard about this, the new tallest water slide in the world. After questions about its safety, they released this video this week of the guy who designed it going down it. He described it as terrifying. It's at the Schlitterbahn Water Park, a big summer attraction out in suburban.
He described it as terrifying. What is the voice on these fuckers?
Kansas City. The name, by the way, means slippery road in German. It's appropriate. And this new water slide at the Schlitterbahn is called the Verrückt, just to get people like us to have to say Verrückt and Schlitterbahn in the same sentence.
People like who? I'm not going to say it.
It's not for the out of shape or faint of heart. You have to climb 243 steps to go up. It's 17 stories down at 65 miles an hour. We're going to try to put it to the test ourselves with a correspondent.
There you go.
When a lender gives you a mortgage, what they're really doing is tying up their cash in exchange for your interest payments.
Mm-hmm. All right. These are the things that are at the front. With everything that's going on in the world, and, you know, you've seen it. You've been out there. You know what's what. These are the top stories on the NBC News page.
Well, you probably heard.
Fucking water slide. Brian Williams, dopey motherfucker. Yeah, I'm not sure how much longer we're gonna go anyways. But this is the NBC News. You know, YouTube is one of the biggest platforms you could ever have in you know, in the world. I mean, what else do you want? 24 hours a day, fucking free for the entire world to view. And this is the bullshit that NBC News brings you. What is this? You're on the radio again. What do you want?
I don't want your show to end because I like it.
Okay.
So I want you to dig deep into your mind and come up with like the most controversial subject ever.
Well,
and talk about it.
The most controversial subject, you know, what gets people killed is the child trafficking.
Well, no. I want you to talk about the most controversial thing ever. If you think it's child trafficking, which I would agree with, because I've always said if you want to get yourself dead, talk about how they fuck children. But that's all. And
that's a good saying.
Do you need anything else from me? Do you want to hang up? Do you want me to stick on the line and talk
fuck.
about it or what?
Why don't you hang out? Who cares?
Okay, well, I'll hang out.
What do you think? What do you think is the most controversial topic of all time? I mean, we keep running into these stories.
Well, you got to look at how many smart people get dead talking about what. And a lot of smart people get dead talking about free energy, and a lot of smart people that are talking get dead talking about babies getting sexes with the dicks, the old people.
Yeah, it's true. Did you? What did you think of the world's tallest water slide on NBC News? That's what NBC News wants you to know about.
Oh, I saw that 4 weeks ago on the internet. The news doesn't even report it anymore. They just go on the internet, and they're like 3 weeks late on the most viral videos because they don't have live leak in 4chan. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
You
no.
know what I'm saying?
Some of the other,
Like you got to look at it. E-Bomb's world is 2 days behind Live Leak, and Live Leak is like 2 days behind 4chan. So, I mean, 4chan, you know what I mean?
Hey, wait.
And then they get it down the line, and they're like, "Oh, look how I watched a video of drive-by complimenting on the internet like 4 days ago, and it was people in Chicago just driving around in this convertible with a megaphone telling people how awesome they are, and then people were like, cool." And I just heard it on radio 780 like today. Oh, these people were complimenting. Like,
no,
yeah,
the
well,
news
dude,
is
that's
done.
like
The
2
news
weeks
is done.
old.
They're dead.
Where,
They're useless.
Their feed doesn't come from the source.
They're useless. Who gets anything out of the fucking news? And look at what
Well,
they
don't
have the
investigate
opportunity.
anymore. They don't report it anymore. They don't find things out anymore.
But people,
All they do is press release. All they do is press release, and then they'll like pick up on a viral video and just be like, "Oh yeah, well, there's just like millions of immigrants pouring over the border and everything, but check out these guys that are really nice to all these people this weekend in their convertible with their megaphone."
The news is something like NBC News when the conversion came to like where most people were getting their information from the internet. People who were completely broke completely turned the system on its head by just doing dedicated actual journalism, and there's hundreds of examples of it. And all the major news giants just completely disintegrated. Not every single one, but I think CNN is completely is done. But like most of them have taken a huge hit.
Alex Jones just broke the fucking the immigration problem 3 weeks ago, and now it's mainstream everywhere.
Yeah, I was like 2 weeks late to carry it too.
CNN and InfoWars,
but no, wait, let me make I'm gonna put you on hold.
Sure.
No, I won't really. I was gonna.
No, check it out.
You're on hold. My point was, that these companies had all the resources in the fucking world to join the technological revolution and offer you actual fucking information that you might stick around to receive. But look what's happened. If you're somebody who digs a little bit deeper or gets your, it tries to stay a little bit more informed than the average person on a lot of these topics, you don't get your fucking information from NBC News. You go all over the place to a lot of smaller operations, and you get a consensus view, and you make an intelligent decision. These things are dead. All right, I'm gonna bring our caller back. Sorry, go ahead, caller.
You can talk now.
You've been on hold for a while, so
these small guys are breaking these huge stories, and these big entities still exist at a loss. How are they? What are you talking about? The mainstream media has been operating at a loss for so. What do you mean? Who operates at a loss? Nobody.
Right.
Why? Why are they losing and still operating, pushing propaganda? Because it's fucking crazy, and everybody needs to just go read a few things, and they'll just be like, "Whoa."
Here's a video I'm gonna go ahead and play on NBC News. It's called Is Lethal Injection Painful? This is again from their main page.
After several high-profile executions this year, questions about both why and how the U.S. employs the death penalty are front and center.
Just hold on while I play this.
Here now, a closer look at 3 commonly held beliefs about the death penalty.
Again, some
Number
shitty,
1,
outdated
lethal
fucking...
injection is painless.
I don't know what
Most
that was
states use a standard 3-drug cocktail, including pentobarbital, but newer concoctions have proven to have some deeply troublesome effects. This year, Ohio, faced with a shortage of pentobarbital, used a new combination of drugs. The condemned man, struggling and gasping for air, took over 26 minutes to die. The Constitution says states can employ any method they choose as long as it's not cruel and unusual. Legal scholars have warned that the execution in Ohio badly failed that test. Number 2, the death penalty deters crime. The jury's still out on this one. While some studies indicate that the death penalty saves as many as 18 lives for every execution, others show no effect whatsoever.
Yeah, the thing about the death penalty, it might deter crime better if it was fucking horrible to go through, I guess. We lost our caller during that. I don't know. To me, the question, like he said, what's the most controversial thing I could possibly think of? Like I've said a couple times this episode, why is the practice of child torture, rape, and imprisonment so common in so many cultures throughout the history of this world? I guess that would be the topic, but fuck, I don't know. There's a lot of people with a lot of different answers. But, as I've just shown you, just kind of easily off the top of our head, we pulled up a few examples from the past year, and our listeners might have more insight into that, but for now, I don't know. My point about these major news organizations is they had the opportunity. They completely could have merged into this medium, and they knew well enough to, but they chose not to. And the reason is, it's like he was saying, who operates at a loss? No one operates at a loss. Unless you've got some kind of backers with a different agenda, and the agenda isn't necessarily to make money. It's good to make money, but when the market turns around on you, you need to stay alive because of your side product, which is your insidious message and your pigeonholing of issues in society. And that's what these major organizations do, is fuel, hatred between one group and another, pigeonhole issues so that they have to be discussed in plain black and white terms and argued, emotionally instead of logically, or to just plain out distract you from things you might need to know to better yourself or society or whatever. That's the idea here. These things, they just serve as facilitators to the eventual overlords funneling wealth and resources to an ever more finite point at the top of the pyramid. There you go. That's the way that works. Let's see what NBC News says about... This is so... Did Snowden vote for Obama?
Vote for President Obama. I think who people voted for is something that should be kept private. Did now, he disappoint you? What I will say on that...
By the way, that means he did.
Is that whether or not I voted for President Obama, I was inspired by him. He gave me courage. He gave me hope. I really believed...
For those of you who don't recognize the voice by now, that's Edward Snowden.
That he would be a positive force for the country. And I still hope he will be.
You, however, looked at it. You were hoping he would reverse some of the Bush policies. You were quoted as saying you were disappointed that he did not.
Well, he said he would.
And in your view, it worsened?
It's been a logical progression. He's embraced...
Is Edward Snowden for real? Is he really surprised? All this bullshit? For real? Anybody want to fucking weigh in on that? Because the guy just... How could he be this savvy and this dopey all at once?
The policies, and he's extended the policies. He's not Bush. He's his own president. But the consonants in the policies should be concerning for a lot of Americans because he was a candidate that promised that he would give the public back its seat at the table of government. And he still has time to do so.
All right, well, it's pure idiocy. I'm kind of wondering about Edward Snowden. Maybe that's a topic to look into in the future is he just a total fucking tool? Was he just used? It's not above the clandestine wings of this government to completely set someone like this up that they can predict will act in a certain way and might be a whistleblower and feed them information and then use them as a media tool to get a certain agenda across. I mean, fuck, it's damage control. People know this shit is going on. They're going to fucking leak it in their own way. They're going to control the leak the whole way. I don't know. After seeing him speak, I'm starting to see that in a different light. Do we really believe that these clandestine groups are as incompetent as the rest of our government, because people are fond of that argument. You know, how could a government so incompetent be part of any kind of sophisticated conspiracy? Because the fucking government is a show. It is a show. It's the Real Housewives of the fucking White House, whatever you want to call it. It's a bullshit show. It's just there to entertain you and give you the illusion that you're taking part in this system, while the actual people who are very cunning and very calculated, very capable, and very intelligent, and more so than you could probably ever fucking believe, are out there making things happen. The doers and the shakers are not the fucking bumbling, incompetent members of government that you know and love from your television and news feed. We're talking about a much different segment here. And, you know, just the reason I explain that all is because it's totally believable that they would have set this thing up from the beginning to control this person and to use them as a tool and an actor to push a certain agenda. And, you know, like I said, damage control. Let's listen to what else he says.
It's fair to ask. It's a fair question. You know, why doesn't he face charges? But it's also uninformed, because what has been laying against me are not normal charges. They're extraordinary charges. We've seen more charges under the Espionage Act in the last administration than we have in all other administrations.
Guy kind of looks like an actor to me now, I just gotta say. I don't know if anybody else has had this thought on Edward Snowden. He's not looking that real to me at this point.
In American history.
I am drinking.
The Espionage Act provides anyone accused of it of no chance to make a public defense. You can't argue to the jury that what you did was in the public interest. You're not even allowed to make that case. They can't hear it.
This has some of the earmarks of a rehearsed statement, which I guess if you're a nervous guy and you know you've got a media appearance, you might do. He's got some of these fake pauses in here.
Accused of it of no chance to make a public defense. You can't argue to the jury that what you did was in the public interest. You're not even allowed to make that case. They can't.
There's these like kind of shrugs and nervous facial expressions. It looks like an act. Fucking Christ, another call. Yeah, you're on the line.
Hey.
Hey, we're talking about Edward Snowden. He doesn't.
Oh yeah, most deaf. This guy is like a fucking quadruple agent.
Okay.
There's like there's evidence he worked for the Russian. I mean, Edward Snowden.
You know what I'm saying though? Isn't it more plausible rather than this fucking dopey guy who tries to play this kind of like nice guy character, rather than he actually was able to pull this shit off? Isn't it more likely that he was fed this entire thing?
Oh, most deaf. You know why?
Yeah.
Okay, your name is Vinny, right?
Yeah.
So Vinny goes and he works for the NSA and he builds some fucking subcontracting fucking infrastructure, and then he's just like, well, I'm just gonna go to Russia. You fucking better fucking look at... Are you kidding me? You'll be so hard in prison. Russia, what? They'll just send CIA agents to fucking slit your throat and drag you back to the States to serve a prison sentence as a dead-ass skeleton.
The Sunday
evening
overdose.
Anything that is very popular is orchestrated. Anything that is very popular is orchestrated. I could say it again if you'd like.
How about Macklemore? He's a good rapper, huh?
Macklemore is actually a pretty weird independent artist that just sucks on what's popular.
I don't know. He creeps me out too.
Cool at all. He is independent. What? He pays for everything. He has no record label, but he's still in the mo.
I don't like Macklemore. Fuck Macklemore. All right, so
if you want to hear what I think about him, I think he's a pumpkin pie haircutted freak.
Yeah, but my point wasn't don't you think he was kind of put on by some unseen powers that be?
Well, I'm not. I don't follow his catalog, so I couldn't.
I don't either, but I know that here's
Can you
what.
give me a parallel? Can you give me a parallel of somebody I might that might parallel what he's doing? That something I know about.
He's like a not I don't know. I guess he's sort of in the vein of like artists who have like a really like bleeding heart kind of forced compassionate angle. Maybe like a lot of people accuse Bono of that kind of thing, or
Bono. You can't really force compassion. Compassion was
whatever. The point is he serves this agenda of kind of coming out to say you know, I think his biggest, I don't know what was first, but you know, he has a big song about.
I just know about the Return of the Mac, so you have to explain everything to me about him.
He has a big song about about accepting gay people, which would be like, I guess, risky like 35, 40 years ago or something. But then he has this whole.
We can only assume that he's being bankrolled by a certain chemical.
Well, the point is,
he's got
this
and weirdo fucking feminine types. And
right.
destroy their
I'm gonna have to
fucking
put you on hold.
testosterone.
The point is, he's got this weird, giant media swell around a message that is not poignant or. You're still talking. The message is not poignant or significant in any way whatsoever. It's rather already been accepted for years and years and years. I've never known anyone that had a fucking problem with gay people, and he comes out and has to do this, you know, this whole thing like he's a big social martyr or something. And I have a problem with him there. Yeah, I'm here. I have to keep putting you on hold because you don't understand that there's a rhythm that you have to let the other person talk. And you suck at this. So I'm trying to tell you, I don't like his fake fucking social martyr status. I don't like how he acts like he's putting himself out there in this song about accepting gay people, and the whole first verse is just about his fucking reassurances that he's not gay, basically. And
But it's like supportive gays. But
the point is, most people, that's not an issue in their fucking life, and he's getting this huge reputation as like he brought compassion to the rap world, you know, and this and that, and for most of intelligent people, it's not a fucking issue. There is no gay bashing. There's none of this. There's none of that. It's just this easy fucking thing. It was like if you came out with a rock song in the 50s about, or 60s maybe, about how it's like okay to be friends with a black guy. It's this fucking like easy stance to take that everyone already agrees with, that is being rocketed to the top of the media as this super brave fucking statement, which makes me suspicious because it's not natural. I don't agree. I don't think that most people.
I think Ron Paul said something along the lines of.
Putting you on hold. I hate Ron Paul. I like Ron Paul, but I also hate Ron Paul. Let's go back to it.
Just wait for things to happen.
The talking idiot.
And agree with them is easy. And that's not the quote, but I don't remember it, but it's something along those lines.
Cool. So
so he's like taking what's fucking liberal and trendy and just going with it. That's fine. Let him.
No, Ron Paul's fine, but he still buys into a system that I don't agree with.
No, I'm talking about Macklemore. You're saying that he's going to, he's just,
you were on hold.
Well, this is cool, so let's do it. Ron Paul's the freshest.
Yeah, Ron Paul. Who's fresher, Ron Paul or Macklemore?
Please. Ron Paul, he will just like knock that guy out in like one punch.
He probably would, actually. I've heard Ron Paul is like insanely fucking strong and shit still.
Did you see the it was pictures, it was images. He was like swimming in a pool, took his shirt off. Guy's like fucking 90. He has like fucking like stacked on pecs, dude.
That's good living. He's also never he's never seen a bag of weed before in his life. So which life do you want? All right.
Be true,
we're so screwed.
That's what he says. He really says that.
Oh, yeah.
Meaning, like, he never gets it in a bag.
No, yeah, he's only seen jars. No, he said he's never seen.
Are you guys running a stream through your studio over there?
Yeah, we're streaming on Ustream. Are you not listening to the fucking show?
Yeah, the 2 listeners. That means me and you. So we're just regular now. We're just talking like friends. This is like a phone call.
That's it? Are we down to 2 listeners?
Yep, that's me and you.
Wow.
Yeah.
Those people listening to
no, I feel like.
So if you're listening to the playback, if this ever gets 1 million views, guess what? This was broadcasting to 2 people on Ustream.com in the year 2014. I hope you're amazed by that.
Somebody might be. They'll be like, "Do you believe this transmission I found?" This is back before aliens invaded our planet. Oh my god, this is cool.
Yeah. These guys actually didn't know that Edward Snowden was like a robotic cyborg.
Just put it on like 80 flash drives and put them on the ley lines or something. You know what I'm saying?
God, you're a drunk internet head. What did you say? Put it on 80 flash drives and send it into the ley lines?
I said put it on 80 flash drives and then put them on the ley lines.
That's the dumbest thing I've ever heard. Hang on. Edward Snowden's talking.
You are not allowed to argue based on all the evidence in your favor because that evidence may be classified, even if it's exculpatory. And so when people say, why don't you go home and face the music, I say, you have to understand that the music is not an open court and a fair trial. The music is a show trial in a kangaroo court in a district of the United States.
Well, let me just say something.
A man 100 years ago.
Look, hey, listen, Trix. I'm putting you on hold, okay? Just hold on for a second.
No, let me.
I don't understand why he didn't make a music metaphor here. He set himself up perfectly.
The music is not an open court and a fair trial.
He set that up like it was going to be something clever. The music is not an open court and a fair trial, when he should have said the music is not a perfectly composed symphony. It's a cacophony of loosely thrown together, bits of sound clips as supported by different corporate lobbies or something.
And that you have like a director, a puppet master.
Yeah, and then turn it into like a whole fucking weird, trippy video. See, Edward Snowden doesn't know how to make a fucking viral video. That's the problem.
And so
we got a caller calling back in. Oh, phone's ringing. Somebody answer that.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, you're on the Sunday Evening Overdose. Thanks for calling back.
What are you doing?
Turn on your goddamn radio. Although my voice sounds kind of cool. It sounds kind of deep tonight.
What are you calling?
What?
Did you just call me?
Yeah, what were you talking about?
Oh, what I was saying is that...
You keep hanging up. I keep putting you on hold because you don't fucking understand how to shut the fuck up for 2 seconds. So if you could do that, I would stop putting you on hold.
Why'd you call me back?
Why'd I call you back? Because I got nothing else here.
Okay, check it out. So, a man 100 years ago learned how to make wireless electricity. He was not allowed to continue. And somehow I'm supposed to respect all establishment things that were allowed to continue.
How much have you drank tonight?
Oh, shit ton. I'm still drinking.
All right.
But what I'm saying is that
I agree with what you're saying, but
learn how to make the earth drive electricity free and wireless.
Can I say something? Hang on. Hey!
And now...
You're on hold. Sir, while I agree with what you say, I would not defend to any length your right to say it how you're saying it, like a drunk dick. Go on.
I'm not on hold.
You were on hold. I keep having to put you on hold because you're the drunkest dumbass ever.
No, I'm talking legit biz.
All right, go ahead.
Some guy 100 years ago, Nikola Tesla, said, hey, we can make the fucking actual Earth drive these towers through ley lines and emit wireless electricity.
Nikola Tesla had the idea to,
they could summon me to a courtroom because this establishment, this entity was allowed to exist. When I know about entities that are not allowed to exist from many, many years ago, and somehow I'm supposed to respect the entities that are allowed to exist. Somebody's telling every entity who can exist and who cannot exist, and somehow I'm supposed to fucking respect the ones that are established today as the court, but not, you know what I mean? It's very simple. It's all bullshit. Everything's much better than everybody knows, and fuck it. I mean, we could have been on fucking Saturn by now. We could have been like, I know it's like a gas giant, but we could have been like, you know, like surfboarding off the rings or something. Everything's bullshit, man. Everything's
Totally.
fucking garbage.
Yeah.
Hey, well, let me quote
How'd
some
you just
Robot
go?
Hilarious. Shit's backwards.
Yeah, that's me. I agree with everything you say. You went like like 1,000 different fucking ways, though. I don't like. I mean,
I'm sorry, but it is 1,000 different ways relevant.
Tricks can't hear me, right?
I'm sorry. That's how I see it. That's why I went 1,000 different ways, because I want to show that it affects all and everything.
you know what? I totally understand what you mean.
But you're drunk?
Why are you going to be an asshole? Why are you going to call me a drunk?
Because you're drunk as fuck, dude.
Yeah.
Drunk as fuck
Because
caller.
I listened to the Sunday evening overdose.
Yeah, no. It's okay. I mean, it's fine. I'm leaving you on here for like 10, 15 minutes. It doesn't matter. Who cares?
Who gives a shit? I'm listening, and
You might be the only person listening, actually. I don't know.
No, but it's good. You got like 537 unique views. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, no, we're doing a little bit. We got a little bit going on.
No, I like keep with the paranormal Illinois stuff. See, and like in the future they'll be like, man, when that show was just kicking off with like 2 listeners, they would talk on air about how they're going to make the show better. And they'll be like, wow, that's like so unique. You know what I mean?
All right. Well, you know what? I got another video from NBC
Most
News.
of us are unable to build our very own.
I called
Wait,
you earlier.
what do you think about the news guy
like,
voice?
straight up?
What do you
No,
think?
I've been listening to your show all night, and you were like, well, I'm posting this on the Facebook. Well, I'm going to post this on the Facebook right now on the feed. And then I got here, and I was like, Christina, pull up your Facebook and watch their feed. And there's nothing.
No, I know. It's been a little fucked up. We had some computer problems, like always.
What's a little fucked up? Facebook's a little
You get in here and run this shit.
Yeah, dude, we've had some shit going on. We're in a fucking recording studio, and you would be surprised, like, how the smallest fucking hindrance can really, like, some shitty fucking laptop situation, some fucking, I don't know. We got all the fucking
I'm well aware of all.
we got all the amenities, and we're still finding ways to fuck shit up.
I'm well aware of the particulars of computers and trying to make them do stuff for you. Computers suck dick.
Yeah, they do.
Oh, word up. Word up.
All right, is that all you got, or are you gonna keep going?
Well, what did you think about the Irish
Wait a second.
The
I
Irish
found
children?
Huh?
What did you think about the Irish children in the septic tank?
The Irish children in the septic tank. I couldn't even get the fucking full article to upload here, but
Really?
yeah, but I was having some problems with
But
that.
it broke afterwards that there was like chemical tests. Dude, it was super strange, man.
So what do you remember from it?
What I remember.
Oh,
is
wait,
that,
hang on. I think we might.
The article I sent you was like the first thing, the first like breaking thing about it, and then afterwards, Infowars did a couple more things because I love Infowars.
Okay, we had another listener. Hang on, we had somebody just a minute ago. Let's see. Yeah, a little while ago. Posted for us. Let's see, Adam, thanks for posting this. This is the aangirfan.blogspot.co.uk about child abuse networks.
Oh, sure.
Certain documents explain how child abuse networks are protected. The following is from the Institute for the Study of Globalization and Covert Politics. The first document was a deathbed testimony from an old woman named Jacqueline Smulders. She lived until 1997. She started out by saying, "I want to testify in relation to the murdered and missing children, the investigation of which is going on in the district attorney's office and examining magistrate in Neufchâteau. Neufchâteau. I'm an American as fuck idiot. I cannot fucking pronounce this shit from all around the world. I'm sorry. I will try to get better. Smulders spoke about L.E. Stanley, a club in Brussels that organized sex orgies. L.E. Stanley, a club in Brussels that organized sex orgies, if you want to look that up. It existed from the 1960s until 1972. Smulders was a member at the time and knew the owner, Marcel Hoffmans. Members of the club included Belgian executives of U.S. corporations, including IBM and Union Carbide. Hey, you ever known IBM to do anything untoward in terms of human rights?
They're just a cool computer company that does, like, punch cards or whatever. They're cool.
Trying to make the world better.
Yeah, they're trying to make the world better by cataloging Jews. It's not a big deal.
Wait, what are you saying? IBM helped to catalog Jews in Nazi Germany?
What are you talking about?
No, don't look that up. Don't look it up.
They never did that.
Don't look that up.
Well, it had something to do with the first computer that was ever invented. The first computer that was ever invented
was invented to help kill Jews?
Was a punch card system by IBM. Of course. You know that. Come on.
No, I've never heard of IBM doing anything other than...
I've never heard of IBM.
Yeah, no, all I know is they brought me my first home computer as a child where I was able to participate in the Defense Department training, first-person shooters back in the early 90s.
You definitely knew that they fucking invented the first computer to fucking catalog Jews.
Whoa, hey, we have another call. Let me,
Is that true?
Yeah, I guess so. So thanks for calling in 8 times. And we got a new somebody. What's your name? Where are you from? You're on the Sunday Evening Overdose.
Yo, man. Okay, I'm Clarence. My name's Clarence from Iowa.
Oh, you called last week. That's right. And I think you and your daughter.
Welcome back to Clarence.
Your daughter Tamika actually asked a very profound question. I think, if I remember correctly.
That is true. My daughter Tamika.
Hey, can we bring this caller up a little bit? I can't hear him. I'm sorry.
Right now, but we were listening to your talk show, man. Today. And I just wanted to say. Hello?
Yeah, I'm here. Nationwide broadcast, sir, please.
Yeah. So, this is Clarence from Iowa. And I just want to say, man, unfortunately, I'm very drunk, but I do appreciate the way that you were talking about killing Jews.
Right. The great tradition of Jew killing that we've all enjoyed.
I mean, it's kind of fucked up, man.
Yeah. No, it is. What did you appreciate about it?
I don't know, man. I just appreciated the part where they died, man. But, you know what I mean? It's not funny, but it's fucked up, bro. Why are you talking about it, man?
So you're someone who more was kind of like a Hitler apologist, sort of reformist, they call it, I think, a revisionist, Holocaust revisionist.
Okay.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I really don't.
Germany and Argentina
when you
today.
Talking about the Jews died, I started laughing.
Germans hate Argentinians.
Hitler moved to Argentina.
Argentinians.
A lot of Argentinians. Sorry, a large portion of the German youth it's funny, really hates the Argentines or Argentinians, depending on who you talk to.
I don't know, man. I was watching that game today, and I did not see that win coming, man.
I don't know what happened. I don't pay attention to that stupid bullshit.
As in Nazis.
As in who?
Nazis. As in Nazis, man, not Nazis. Man.
Oh, you didn't expect the Nazis to get defeated.
Nah, man, it was so crazy. Tamika, shut the fuck up!
Hey, last week Tamiko couldn't come to the phone because she was sleeping. Now she's making noise. Can you put her on the phone?
Hold on, man.
So what was the most like the most sentimental thing to you about World War II? What's like the part that really kind of tugs at your heartstrings?
Man, it's about to sound fucked up, man. But the part that was sentimental to me was, you know, when them Jews were dying together, man. You know what I'm saying? They spent a lot of time together and on each other, you know, naked, and then they, you know what I'm saying? Like they'd be buried alive next to each other, you know, and probably with some man's penis on top of them. You know what I mean? It's like fucked up, but that was sentimental to me, man. Like,
yeah, no,
man, you got me thinking of some profound shit, man. That's why Sunday evening overdose.
Yeah, no. That's I was actually just writing down what you said so I could get it tattooed on my chest.
Oh man!
So sorry if I wasn't.
I fucking love you guys, man. I'm getting all my homies, all my people, man. You know what I'm saying?
So Clarence,
we're all just gathering around. Listen to this Sunday evening. Tamika, shut the fuck up!
Last week, I was trying to ask you. You live down by the river, right?
Man, I'm right next to the river, bro.
Which river is it?
That river, bro. Come on, you know what I'm talking about.
There's a whole bunch of rivers. I was just wondering if you know which
river.
No,
man, no, for real. I'm some real shit though. I'm like right next to the river, bro.
Right there? Could I come by?
Mm-hmm. If you want to, man, it's probably I don't know, man. It's probably like 3-4 hour drive from you. But if you want to come to the river,
you got catfish.
I like rivers.
We ain't got no catfish, man. We got these little fucking Jewfish, but it makes them better to catch, bro.
Yeah, those Jewfish are squirrely. They're hard to put your finger on, and definitely have an undisputed and disproportionate control over the media.
Oh man.
They are a squirrely bunch. All right, well, thank you, Clarence. I appreciate your call.
Man, I'm gonna go beat my daughter real quick.
Yeah, you know what? Give Tamika a few for me. All right. All right, man. Thank you.
Fucked up, but I got you, man.
Yeah, man. Beat her like I taught you.
Yeah.
All right. We're that guy's gonna go beat his imaginary daughter, and we're gonna go back to this article about child abuse that I'm actually concerned with in real life. This show's fucked up. So we're just to recap. Jacqueline Smulders did an interview on her deathbed in 1997. Testifying to the abuse that happened at L.E. Stanley, a club in Brussels organized in sex orgies. Smulders was a member at the time and knew the owner, Marcel Hoffmans. Where are we at? How much time do we have? We don't have much time left in the Sunday evening overdose. The Institute for the Study of Globalization and Covert Politics. Let's see, put this together, I guess. At the club was a young black girl that Smulders thought could well have been Virginie. Holy fuck. What is it about this show? Every article. Here's what this name is. Virginie. Virginie. Why does that? And the last name is Baranyanka. Virginie Baranyanka. Fuck you for having that name. The lawyer of Michael, and you too, Nihoul. Can nothing just be fucking regular? Nihoul. Michel Nihoul was part of the I can't even read this shit. Child kidnap and murder scandal in Belgium. I might be stupid, or it might just be that, you know, when you immerse yourself in American culture, you're just cut off. You just don't even know how to pronounce these fucking common words. Smulders suspected that at least several members of Club L.E. Stanley must have known. So this was a child. Nihoul. So this was sent in by a listener. Smulders was virtually certain that the father of the murderer of blah, blah, blah. These are a bunch of different cases. She testified basically about a bunch of missing children. And actually, this is a article I'm going to go ahead and throw up on the Sunday Evening Overdose if you're playing along at home. So this was a lady at a sex club who made a lot of deathbed confessions here, which, you know, to me, that's the hardest place to argue that someone is doing it for attention. I mean, you know, you're on your way out. The only motivation would be to, in my mind, to get the truth out there, or if you had some weirdly sick agenda to spread it further, you know, and I don't know, but I mean, if there's no evidence of that, then it's pretty sure that these people that are coming out with this stuff on their deathbed, they just feel guilty. They feel guilty. Simple as that. Need to get it off their shoulders. They want to meet their maker in a different way. All right, well, fuck you for not speaking up your whole life. What is the thing where we accept this shit in historical context, you know, where it's this this idea that, like, as long as we didn't have the ability to make each other aware of the behavior, for some reason we think it was, you know, less important or less impactful or less telling about human nature, you know. And this stuff throughout history, to me, is very telling about human nature itself, you know, and could offer us a lot of insight into the world we live in today, and now where we even have more evidence, you know. But just, man, I've noticed a common thread in my life that people are emotionally detached from events which took place long ago, when really, you know, it's just a matter of the same imagination that you use to empathize with someone across the globe as it is to empathize with someone across, you know, some vast time period. So we got to start coming together on that concept. There has been some things that have been fucked up for a very, very long time. We have to get behind some sort of agenda to send our societies in the right direction. Whatever. I'm not trying to fix all this bullshit right now. I'm just rambling. I'll try to fucking run out the clock on this show. We got a couple minutes left until the 1 o'clock hour. The Sunday Evening Overdose is looking to stay in business long term. You could help us out by emailing sundayeveningoverdose@gmail.com. And we are looking to take on advertisers for a very, very, very small cost, and try to get this thing off the fucking ground, because, as you notice, for free, you know, we can only do so much, and we can be entertaining and we can do whatever, but we can only do so much. So, you know, you fucking want your shit advertised here, you fucking bring me that shit. I'll record you a fucking commercial, we'll put it up on our shit, and we will play it a couple times a week, and you know, hopefully get you a little bit of traffic and whatever for a very, very I'm talking fucking minuscule fee. So that's one idea that we're looking for. We're also looking for correspondence. If anyone is still listening, we're looking for correspondence and people who want to contribute and have their say and write articles or contribute articles or whatever they might want to do. Blah, blah, blah. It's been a good day in the Sunday evening overdose. We're going to try to get out of here in a moment and take you out with one of my favorite songs from an unnamed artist. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks to our guest from the Clinton County Paranormal Research Group. We'll see you next week. Same time, same place. Sunday evening, 9 p.m. here in Lombard, Illinois. Thank you for joining us.
I'm going over
Fuck
to Joe's
you.
house, okay?
I'm gonna go
Do you
some other
suppose
shit.
her neck
You do
has
your own
grown
shit.
any since we've been
don't need
away?
me anymore.
I don't know, but I want to play with her anyhow.
Have a good time, daughter.
We'll have dinner at sunset. 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 Sunset.
I don't care, whatever. I talk to myself like two dumb animals, blinking in and out of existence like some kind of new intangible. I'm having a weird party with wild raccoons drinking Boone's Farm in my RV.